What is up, YouTube? It's me, the artist at MC, and you have now embarked on a hero's journey. Like, share, subscribe, support the show if you feel so inclined. I'm going to try to make this a quick stream today because, as you will hear momentarily, I got a lot of stuff going on right now and today. So it's an on-call stream. So as you can see, I'm not home. I'm at work. And I've been here since last night. So I didn't get done till late, so I didn't leave. So let's see who's in this. BZ for Streezy. What's good, Malika? Shout out to the Malika Me Bang. And everybody else on Ninja Watches. So I guess that makes it all good. All right. Sounds like there's been a little bit going on in the world today. So just for me, I'll probably do this for about an hour or two. Then I'll get out of here. I'm on call. What's good, studio? I'll see you in here. I'm on call, but also I found out Thursday that this weekend was a playoffs weekend for my pool leagues that I play in. So we had playoffs for our 9-ball team and my 8-ball team. And they were both for seats, or the experience, let me get it correct, the experience of going to Vegas and playing in the world tournaments. Now, both of those playoff matches were on at 12 p.m. So today I have my 9-ball 12 playoff match. So I need to be there at 12. So I'll probably kill this stream about 10 o'clock so I can get out of there, barring anything crazy going on here. So yesterday we played, yesterday we played 8-ball and we lost by forfeiture, meaning we have to have 5 people. We had 4. So the other team had most of their members there. What's up, Dr. Rosie and Trust? The other team had most of their members there, the 5 people seat. So we were 1 game short. I don't know what happened to our other teammate. I assume that he has some personal stuff going on, which we knew he did, revolving around his daughter. Being a man who has raised a child or 2 between homes, I know how that can be stressful and impacting a man's mind to not really be able to focus on doing something fun like, shooting pool. I understand. Family comes first. So it's disappointing, but it is what it is. You roll with what the punches life throws you. You either rope a dope or you start hitting back. And so that's what we just had to do yesterday. I actually lost my game, my match that I had to play. I actually lost it. But I lost it against my team captain on my 9-ball team. So the guy I'm going to play with and for today, I lost the match to yesterday, and it was just weird. I got there early, got there about 11 to start doing my warm-ups, and as soon as I got there to warm up, I got a call, so I had to leave. So I left for an hour, didn't even get to warm up, and by the time I got back, my other teammate had finally made it, and he was already playing his match. And so I got to sit a while. I never got to warm up again. I got to shoot one game, and then I came back and played. And so it kind of showed when I played that I was a little bit off on my banks and stuff. Just for y'all non-pool players to know, even if you play on the table all the time, there is a little bit of refamiliarizing yourself that has to happen when you play on the table before you play in a match or a competition setting. You need to make sure you're dialing everything in, that your stroke is where you want it to be, and your touch and how the table and what rails bank well for you or which ones bank kind of garbage. Since we're always playing on barroom tables, meaning they're smaller, meaning the rails are usually shit. So you have to, and how the table rolls and how it's balanced is shit. So you have to feel that out a bit by warming up on that table before, so you know what corrections you have to make to your shot and whatnot. It's tough to do that in the middle of a competitive situation where you have so many games to win or to play, and you haven't had a chance to fill out that table. It makes it kind of tough. It does. So I got a shitty matchup, which I told my team captain that, like, you shouldn't match me up like that. You should have gave us an advantage. He matched me up with somebody exactly at my same level. Exactly at my same level, which means we both had to win the same number of games, which was 2. And I'm playing my team captain, who I don't think I've ever actually played him except for, doing warm-ups before our 9-ball matches. And I like him. I don't really get that same angst up to be playing against him, put it that way. Not saying I went easy, but I was missing shots and took shots I probably wouldn't have took on other people, because in my mind I was not warmed up and I was playing. So I lost that match. One of our other players, though, Kareem, he came off the bench late, and he was making a good run. He was having a good run. He had the dude he was playing skirt, but he had to win less games. The other guy had to win more games than he did. And that's how you want the matchups going. Like, our first match, it's one of our higher skilled players. He's a level 5. And he played somebody who was a level 7. Now, I'm not casting aspersions, but they were doing some bullshit up front when I got there, is that they had that dude marked down as only having to win 3 games, or they both only had to win 3 games. And I'm like, he is way better. His skill level is way higher. You shouldn't have to win the same number of games. And I double checked it. Thankfully, we have our app, so everybody's rankings and shit like that are in there. And I double checked it. Like, hell no. He needs 5 games. He needs to win 5 games. You need to win 2. Oh, yeah. They're trying to pull some shit, right? They're trying to pull some shit because they really get into wanting to go take that trip to Vegas. So cheating inevitably comes up. I have no love for that shit. It insults my integrity. It does. It insults my integrity. I don't like that shit, and I don't think people should win for that. So my thinking is, how it worked out is, whoever won our match between us and that team yesterday had to play again at 4 p.m. against another team from another division. And then out of those two, that was going to be the one that went. I think they got their ass beat by the other team. I think they did. They should have gotten their ass beat by us. That's why they won by forfeiture, because we have a much stronger team. We have a much stronger team. A lot of younger, really good shooters. Even though our skill levels aren't very high, we're like mid range. We got some hitters. We got some hitters. That's why we end up there every year. We were in third place, and only because we were screwing up some games. Because some people had shit going on that was keeping them from playing as regular, right? So we could have took them. I know it. I've played everybody on their team, and I've beat everybody on their team, which is weird. I never realized that my team captain was on this team, but then again, I stopped playing in that division because it was on Mondays, and Mondays was too busy. Right. So we did what we did, and as I said, it's disappointing, but it is what it is. I had another chance, another time to play today, which is the 9-ball team. That is, we came in first last year. So we did really damn good last year. Last season, I should say. So that is what this is. This is playoffs for last season. We're in our summer session right now, so we're muddling around there right now, like in sixth. But I'm shooting better. Some of the rest of us are shooting. We keep losing games by like points, minor points, 1 point. 2 points. It's really close games is what it is. It's really close games. It just comes down to flaws. Just flaws. So I'm a bit rested. I need to stretch, but I'm looking to go after it again today, especially against the team we're playing. We have beat these people a couple of times. I've beat the people on this team before too. And I really would not like to see them go forward. Put it that way. If you must, because this is another team that they like having fun and being distracted and shit like that. But if it comes down to it, they will cheat. And I don't think people like that should win. Shit. Especially not going forward to represent you. No, play. That's all you need to do is just play and play consistently. So I'm looking to see that. I don't have any animosity for anybody on the other team. I really don't. But I don't like seeing people that will, fudge and get nitpicky because they're trying to secure a seat, which they could pay for and go to themselves. I think we deserve it. I think we earn it. And how we earn it is how we play. And that's why we're here in these playoffs already, because we have a pretty good team when everybody is dialed in and hitting. And a lot of these people go to Vegas to play anyway. They'll go in. People on my team will go to Vegas anyway to still play in this tournament. So we got some good hitters on this team. So I just want to make sure I do my best and stay consistent. I won on 9-ball last Thursday. I won. Very, very, I wouldn't call it embarrassing, but I was dialed in. And the last shot I made, I didn't even know the game was over. I just made that shot and was going on to the next one. It's like, okay, good game. I'm like, good game what? Oh, that was it? Because I had my earbuds in and everything. I'm just in the zone playing. I was not thinking about that dude. He played twice that night, so he really thought he was on it. But not like me. So I just want to keep that consistent today for my team. I think I care about the 9-ball team a little more because the captain listens. I like the captain, and I like the other members of that team. So, yeah, I want to, show up for them. So that's today. So that's why I would do a short stream today because I need to get my mind set on that and get to that outside of dealing with the water leaks and bullshit here. What else is there? These are all updates before I get to any geek shit, just so you guys know what's going on. Because I haven't been that dialed in on the geek stuff this week because I've been busy with work. And one of the other things I have to do for work is I have to go back to Pennsylvania on Tuesday. So, your boy, what up, D. Scott? Your boy got requested by name. My presence was required back at corporate headquarters. So they asked me Thursday to come out. So I have a virtual meeting tomorrow. And then Tuesday, I'm on a plane to Pennsylvania and I'll be there for a couple of days. And then I'll be back here in Cali on Thursday night. I'll be back here in Cali. So some good things have been happening, I believe. I don't think they call you all the way to corporate to fire your ass. That could be really embarrassing. But it's a expense paid trip on the heels of the last one. So apparently I made an impression on some people and they wanted me back for that kind of insight. So it's not blowing my head up or anything like that. But it could be a good thing. I'm going to see what it is. So there have been some sour faces at my job from them announcing that last week. Oh, well. I'm just being me. Unfortunately, that offends some people. Or frustrates them, either way. So I will go back to corporate and see what they want to do and see what new responsibilities or roles they have they want to put on me and see if I can live up and fulfill that. And then I'll be back here relatively quickly. So you guys won't even really notice it because I'll still, barring any freak accidents, I'll still do my stream on Sunday from home. So I may not even take my laptop just to streamline this whole check-in security process. I just want to go and come back. But I don't want to be bored. It's a long flight. So that's what's going on with me this week. As far as the geek front, I was hearing some rumblings this week about possible Boba Fett season 2. Now, that's interesting to me on the Star Wars front, just because, and I would drop this link in case any of you guys want to come up here. I'm going to give you that opportunity before I check out because I am on a game clock now that I've told you all of that. Do it now or you miss out. What up, AB? Said AB is beaming in there. I don't have my sound effect board. So, oh, the nose itchy. And morning, Mr. Matt. Yeah. Like that shit hanging out my nose. We came up here. What's good, Bizzle?
Hey, Hey, what's going on, Artisan?
Oh, another day in the life. What about you?
One day at a time. Season 2, huh?
Tamora Morrison wants it. I don't blame him. He got kind of shafted for season 1. That was mostly shit. So I still don't put it all on Robert Rodriguez because I'm a fan of Robert Rodriguez and I've watched other Robert Rodriguez movies, even some of that Spy Kid shit, where I can see some of the Spy Kid influence. That Scooter Gang was not him. Fuck no. That was Kathleen Kennedy. But she was the only one clapping that shit up. That was her.
You started on the King Kong ripoff.
The King Kong shit was kind of funny to me, but if you have this dude taking over Jabba's palace, and Jabba had a pet Rancor in the basement,
yes.
Why the fuck would he not ride the Rancor? We already know that that's something that the Mandalorians did, riding the mythosaurs and shit. I was waiting for Din Djarin to ride a mythosaur. We saw one. Ride that bitch. Like, come on, man. I didn't have that big of a deal with it. I thought it was hilarious. I was for it. I was like, yeah, ride that goddamn Rancor. Cause some trouble. Yeah. Tear it up. Show City. Don't argue with a man on a Rancor. Come on. So yeah, he did a little King Kong and that shit. It was like, okay, I saw where that came from. But it was funny to me. That wasn't the most objectionable part of that fucking show to me. The most objectionable part for me was that fucking Scooter Gang and the Power Rangers on Vespas and
oh boy.
and him constantly walking around with his goddamn helmet off telling everybody I'm Boba Fett. Like, I think everybody knows, motherfucker. Why are you saying that? Like, why don't you, kick somebody's ass?
It would have been more effective if he just kept his helmet on. Seriously.
Keep your fucking helmet on. I'm tired of seeing Mandalorians' faces. Thanks, Dave Filoni.
And quite frankly, we saw who he was back in Mandalorian season 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. I need more of that. Because that was a Robert Rodriguez episode too. So you mean to tell me that was a hell of a good episode. So you mean to tell me between that episode and this show, Robert Rodriguez all of a sudden got completely ridiculous? That doesn't even make any sense. But I tell you this, and this is why I'd be in favor of a season 2 of Book of Boba Fett if they want to fix that shit. Take season 2 of Book of Boba Fett and take season 3 of The Mandalorian and tell me what you see that seems similar. Tell me they don't look like the same fucking show with the same dumbass shit stuck in there.
Man.
Jack Black and Lizzo? What does that have to do with Star Wars? King Kong ripoffs? Fuck. King Kong ripoff was in Boba Fett season 2, but then in Mandalorian season 3, you had the fucking Jurassic Park ripoff with the dinosaurs grabbing people and flying all over the place. Whose goofy ideas is this? That's KK and Dave.
Hollywood directors with no ideas.
Yeah, that's KK and Dave. I think they scuttled me personally. I will put it on KK until now that we've seen more of how Dave operates. That was Dave in there scuttling those shows with that dumb shit in there.
Oh boy.
The Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
That's what
legacy character, not from the Clone Wars, fucked off. Book of Boba Fett, legacy character, not from the Clone Wars, fucked off. But Fennec Shand was promoted, right? I don't know who made that character up, but I would think it was Dave Filoni. And then Mandalorian season 3, Jon Favreau's character killed. Din Djarin kind of fucked off and replaced with Bo-Katan, another Dave Filoni character. Tell me if you sense the theme here.
Yep. Feminism.
And which one of those 3 shows was degrees of shit? Who he had influence in every one of those shows. Come on, man. He was killing off those legacy characters. He was scuttling those characters to promote his characters.
Yeah. Do you think Obi-Wan in season 2 of Obi-Wan could save it?
Yes. Depending on who writes it.
True.
Depending on who writes it. If they let Tony Gilroy write, that shit probably would be awesome. Slow in the beginning, but it'd be awesome. Right?
I will give them credit for the most embarrassing lightsaber fight I've ever seen in Star Wars. He beat him with a lightsaber. I was like, damn, that's fucked up.
I got a mental scar. You just peeled the scab, baby. I got a mental scar. It hurts. It hurts remembering that shit because I can see it in front of my eyes. Like, oh my God, it hurt to watch.
Well, it made up for him pulling the starship.
I was like, what is that hold? Who holds a lightsaber like that? Get the fuck out of here. Trust that I want to ride a Rancor.
And he felt sorry for it because he knows he just broke it apart and then just threw the other piece at it. Like, I feel sorry for you.
We got Vader doing some shit that we have not seen. We had not seen in Star Wars ever. And then you saw more of it in the Acolyte. The same kind of dumb shit. Like fucking Star Wars foo or some shit. Like, what the hell is this?
I didn't even watch the season finale of Acolyte. That stuff just did not interest me at all.
I'm not missing anything. You want to know what you're happy about? The shit ended. It ended. What was the season finale? It went off. It was done. Thank you very much. It was bullshit from start to finish. And I watched every episode. I reviewed every episode. There's levels of torture I didn't even know I would put myself through. I did it. I did it. Oh my God. Trust says you want to ride a Rancor. I got a Rancor for your ass. But yeah. So, but Boba Fett season 2, they can fix some of that shit.
Yeah.
They do. They just have to break. Like, you know me, I'm not above believing that some of these characters can be saved if they're written by better people.
Yeah.
Right? If they're written by better people, you can turn that around because they are fictional characters anyway, yes. Right? It's not like you're telling somebody's actual historical account where you got a biography sitting there in a living person. Like, well, we can't stray too far because we all know how this happened. You can make up anything you want to in this shit. You write one season and bring him more in line with how Boba Fett is in the novels. Motherfuckers would be on board with that shit. Old, surly, kind of pissy. Oh, we'd be down. None of that riding Rancor shit.
Mm-hmm. None of that. They probably could have made Rey something if they didn't mess up the second and third movie.
You could still make Rey something, but somebody competent has to write her. That's all it is. That's all. Look, the Acolyte could have been good with a better writer and some better story ideas, and people who could actually act and not just shake their vagina in the screen.
All they had to do was link Snoke to Legend, but oh no, Legend doesn't count. Okay, dummies.
Yeah, it counts. Doesn't count while we're trying to steal from it. Yeah, it doesn't count while we're trying to steal from it, because if it counts, then we can't highlight the fact that we are just stealing from it. Like the other thing I saw, other article I saw was, I think it was saying that Star Wars is kicking like Timothy Zahn out or some shit like that. Like they're through with him. I'm like, oh really? So Dave, stole enough from Timothy Zahn to do his movie, and now they kicked his ass to the curb. Wow, that's fucked up. This is one of those most celebrated Star Wars writers. He's the one who made up, what's his name? Oh, blue skin. Thrawn. He's the one who made up Thrawn. Dave was supposedly working with him to do Dave's movie because Dave is trying to adapt Timothy Zahn's story into his movie with Thrawn and heir to the Empire and stuff like that. They do the
Thrawn because Thrawn was a motherfucker. In the books, Thrawn was nobody to play with.
Thrawn was that dude. Yeah, he was that dude. He was smart. He was capable. He was that dude. Like, yeah, Empire gone, whatever. I'm still doing this shit. I'm still about this work. He used Timothy Zahn for a while to do his script, to adapt his material, which basically means he just changed his material, stealing from better works, and now they ain't kicked his ass to the curb. Now he's barred from Star Wars. And how is he barred from Star Wars? Nigga, he gave you some of the best shit in Star Wars. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God. This sounds like
that made Thrawn from Star Wars. I'm sorry.
it sounds like somebody else, acting like a mosquito, sucking off all they could from him and thinking they got all they can to get out of here. We done with you. You out of Star Wars now. Oh, and who closed the door on them? KK or their creative consultant director or creative director, whatever the fuck his stupid ass title is, that's trying to make him seem like he's super creative. I'm like, you're ripping off his material anyway. What, he was gonna sue you? What up, Aquatechy? Said, yeah, Disney doesn't like paying royalties, only collecting them.
Yeah,
I can't see them collecting any royalties right now because they're not doing that business part smart at all. Doesn't seem like it. You damaging your brand. What royalties you gonna get from the shit you making? Thank you, AB. Like, oh no, I think you losing money. Vader snatching ships out of the air was a bit much, but not without precedent. It's not without precedent in video games. Video games. That's how strong Vader is. For me, not playing, Force Unleashed or something like that. I have played the game, but I'm just saying, watching this show, I wasn't playing Force Unleashed. Seeing him do some shit like that is like, no. You know why? I can count it on one body. 2 legs and a missing arm. No, nigga.
No, 2 missing arms by that time.
Yeah, thank you. 2 missing arms. No, absolutely not. Maybe if you had all your natural body parts, yeah, chosen one. You could choose to wreck somebody's day, ripping their ship out of the sky. I don't know how that would work, but maybe you could telekinetically. Okay, not after you lost 2 arms and 2 legs, though. You are limited and in pain. And even George has told you what his power level is after that quadruple amputation he went through. Reduced drastically. Still strong as shit, but not like that. So it works for a video game. It might have been a cool moment in a show, but even watching the show thinking, oh, that's kind of cool, but that's bullshit. It is. Because if you could do that, why would you ever end up in a lightsaber fight? Why would you? You'd never end up in a lightsaber fight. You'd be crushing people's head from a distance, let alone choking people from one starship to another. No, I'd just be crushing your fucking head. Like, what did you say? Okay, nothing. He said nothing. You would never need a lightsaber. Never. You never have to hold it. You could just, telekinetically move it around and swat people around you while you just sat there breathing. So it doesn't make any sense. Stupid. Looks cool. Didn't make any sense story-wise. So, but that's me. That's just me, I don't know, being a Star Wars fan and looking at that shit. Like, yeah, if you got a hard on for Darth Vader and Anakin, you're like, yeah, he could do that. Yeah, in a video game. But it doesn't make sense that he's that strong. Even missing parts.
Mm-hmm.
The forces of the living. He's mostly machine, motherfucker. So he ain't all powerful like that. But whatever. It's a good visual. Makes for an exciting moment. But it doesn't make much sense.
With the exception of that, exception of the worst lightsaber fight ever and that epic lightsaber fight.
Missing that shit.
I'm sorry.
We keep sticking that shit in there. What? Worst lightsaber fight ever until the next one. Jesus Christ.
Now, to be fair, that last lightsaber fight looked like a missing part of the movie.
It did. I mean,
part of the story because I have to give it to Hayden Christensen. He got me like, man, you didn't kill me. Then you heard Vader's side. I killed him.
Yeah, I killed me. You didn't kill Anakin, I did. That was cool, but then that again was just harkening back to some shit that Dave had already done.
Mm-hmm.
So he not even ripping off himself. He just wanted to put himself in live action too. And this is when you start seeing why I got such ire with him after we've watched all the rest of these Star Wars projects that come out that have his fingerprints on it. You can see how long of a con this motherfucker was doing just to self-aggrandize himself in the Star Wars universe. Keep repeating things that he did in animation just so he could say, look, I did this. This was cool, wasn't it? Yeah, it was kind of cool to see Anakin and Vader going back and forth within itself, but I didn't think he had a split personality.
No.
I never took that as having a split personality. Even when it got down to the point that Anakin rolled into the temple and started killing off them younglings. That was Anakin, nigga. He knew what the fuck he was doing. Yep. He knew what he was doing. There was no split personality about that shit. Yeah, you can take on another name, but your crimes are all the same, motherfucker. You still the same hand doing the same shit, cutting down the same people. I don't care what you call yourself. But you knew what the hell you was doing, and there wasn't no split personality. And so that was the part. While in Obi-Wan, it was a cool scene to see Hayden playing that out between himself and letting him know, no, I killed Anakin. That was cool. And how it was shown with the light and stuff was cool. I don't see Vader as having a split personality. No. Different persona suppressed. No. And I already understood that Ahsoka did this already before somebody else actually beat Vader. Before his son actually beat him, Ahsoka had to beat him, which is just the promotion of Ahsoka in front of Luke Skywalker every step of the way. No. So, yeah, look cool.
I've always wondered, what was it like when those two met up? Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka.
You ain't really seen it yet, except for that the Book of Boba Fett shit when they was on that planet, so you can have Luke and Ahsoka together. And
yeah, but that didn't say nothing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. But apparently, they didn't talk about shit about his father. I'm just saying. Nothing. No, they just needed to meet. They just needed to meet for him to know that she sensed the light in him way before the son did. Oh, because she was just really close, huh? Okay, whatever the fuck.
Well, that's nothing new either, because remember, Padme, before she died, she said they're still good at him.
Yeah, but that would make sense that Padme would sense that, not even being a Jedi, because she was fucking him.
Yeah,
and having his babies. I don't think Ahsoka would have felt that like that.
True.
Not to any certainty. His wife, yes. His son, yes, his bloodline. The little girl made up to just be his Padawan before Starkiller now? Like, come on, man. Mm-hmm. We just keep inserting this bitch in front of everybody. Like I said, my issue with Ahsoka isn't that Ahsoka exists. My issue with Ahsoka is how Dave has force-fed her in front of every person of interest in this universe. A universe that's built on the Skywalkers now has Ahsoka stuck in front of all of them. Nothing they have done, everything that they have done that is credited to being them has now been superseded by inserting Ahsoka ahead of them doing the same shit. So this heir to the Empire stuff is just that. It's just taking Luke Skywalker out and putting Ahsoka into this whole shit with Thrawn and stuff, where she never existed. Read Timothy Zahn's story of Heir to the Empire. You know what the Legends material that Dave is basing his work on, but it doesn't exist. See if you find Ahsoka in that shit anywhere. No, because she don't fucking exist. He is inserting her, his female side self-insert into this shit to make her relevant in the linchpin to everything. Even though people were pointing out after this Andor shit, like, oh, so where's Ahsoka during all of this stuff? Because apparently Dave didn't like Andor season 2 that much. I was like, I don't think he would, because somebody knew how to write, and they didn't want to listen to your fucking stupid ass notes.
Rewatching Andor season 2, but yeah.
Oh yeah, you got to finish that out, dude. You got to finish that out. Once you finish season 2 of Andor out, just roll right on into Rogue One, and then roll right on into A New Hope, and follow that shit out all the way to Mandalorian season 2. You'll see that is a good, solid block of fucking storytelling that holds up. You get the story. Like, damn, that was really fucking good. Everything else that happens after that, you can't attest to.
Yeah.
Spotty at best. Spotty at best. I don't go boneless in the chat. Y'all can still talk. You're still here. So, what else you got, AB? Because I know I wasn't watching no Star Trek, and I don't think any is on right now.
I still haven't watched Section 31.
I thought that was your show. I thought you was all over that.
Man, I watched the first 5 minutes of that crap and like, this is not Star Trek. I'm out.
Beamed out. Like the first 5 minutes, like, nope.
Nah, I watched the first 5 minutes of that crap and I was like, I'm out. Nah.
AB to Enterprise. One to beam up. Come out this bitch. There's no life on this
I went back to watching reruns. I've even started watching Star Trek Enterprise and stuff like that, but I can't go back to Section 31. Now I'm waiting for season 3 of Strange New Worlds.
Okay, yeah, that was the one you was liking. You was liking that one.
Yeah, like a modern take on the old series, but it takes a place before and all that.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of that recent Star Trek stuff. And I'm a Trekkie. I just haven't watched any of the recent stuff. Nor the Doctor Who stuff. It's just
You a Doctor Who fan?
Hell yeah. I'm Tom Baker on. I'm from the Tom Baker years onward. I love Doctor Who. They fucking killed it apparently. But it's like,
I didn't mind Lower Decks, but they ended it anyway, so
Lower Decks seemed like it had more of an interesting premise. That it could be fun.
Lower Decks was kind of cool. I did like it. I like that show.
And I like the intersection they merged Lower Decks with Strange New Worlds. That was a good episode.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they did? Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, Boimler and Mariner went back to the old Enterprise.
Oh, no.
Oh, see, history. I like that part. That history.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, that was a pretty good episode.
Aquateki said, Andor is the new gold standard to which all Star Wars will be judged by. It should be. It should be. Even to those folks that don't want to consider it fucking Star Wars. Good, don't. Because it's actually good. Star Wars is shit right now.
But like, why wouldn't they consider it Star Wars? Just from their standpoint, why would they not consider it? Because it doesn't have a bunch of lightsabers in
it.
Because nobody yanked the starship out the sky. You got background, man. Put some oil on that squeaky wheel. What up, Dr. T?
Hello,
I stopped after Voyager as far as Star Trek. Everything else had too much feminism. I think that's what it was for me too, Dr. T, because I was sitting here thinking of like, what was the last Star Trek I saw? And the last Trek I saw was Star Trek Enterprise with Scott Bakula. And they had the Vulcan on there showing titties and shit. I was like, what do I need a titty Vulcan? I already had Kirstie Alley. What is this shit? This is just sex. I'm like, oh, fuck me. I was done after that.
It was sex. It's logical.
It's sex. It's just sex. It's logic. Spock's mama is human. There's a reason. Like,
now, as far as Picard, season 3 is probably the only thing worth watching.
As you have told me many a times. And you see, it's not because I don't value your recommendation, but you see, I have not Had time to run back to that shit. I'm like, oh, but he said those 2 seasons is shit. Like it takes season 3 for that motherfucker to get going. Like, dude, how many episodes in each season? Jesus.
For the first season of Picard, maybe I think it's the 7th episode where Riker comes in, where they go to Riker and Troy's house. Maybe the season finale. The first 2 episodes of the second season and the last episode of the second season. That's the only thing.
That is not an endorsement, AB.
I know it's not an endorsement, but
the last couple episodes of the first season. How many episodes in that season? 12.
Yep.
Fuck. And they want an hour piece of my investment time. Fuck you for 2 episodes at the end. Bruh, how many miles?
Maybe the whole third season is worth watching, but the other 2, there's only like 2 or 3 episodes worth watching in each season.
Man, that's like saying, look, if you swim through this canal of shit, Andy Dufresne, you can get out, but you're not gonna see peace until the last 200 feet. Oh, yep. How much shit I gotta crawl through first? Holy shit. Aquateki said he pieced out after the J.J. Abrams 3 Trek films. I'm a Trek fan. I didn't mind J.J. Abrams 3 films. I actually didn't mind them at all. I didn't. Once I saw the first one and what he was doing, brightening it up, lens flares, and all the rest of that goofy shit, right?
Yeah.
The cast, I like the cast. Once they determined that it was an alternate universe, I was like, good.
Yeah.
Cool. So everything I still love exists, and he didn't fuck it up. Fine. We're over here in some alternate universe, different timeline and everything. Cool. I can rock with that. So whatever's happening over here, it should be different than what happened in the main universe, but I'll accept it. It's fine.
Right.
It's fine. As soon as they said that, I was like, okay, cool. I can rock with this now. But if he was saying that he was revision history in this shit, I was like, oh, hell no. I'd have had a huge problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
No, alternate universe. Go over there and
I didn't mind Into Darkness either. That was a relatively decent movie.
Yeah. I like Benedict Cumberbatch's Khan. Khan was sharp. He was an ass kicker. I like Ricardo Montalban too. But since they're in 2 separate universes, they both exist and they both awesome.
I like how he fleshed out how strong Khan actually was.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Definitely. He was whooping a Vulcan's ass, boy. Like, bro.
He tried to put that Vulcan death grip on it. He's like, nah, this ain't happening.
Nah, bro. That don't work on me. We was trained for this. Like, holy shit. That Khan had that Zod shit going on with him.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I was bred for this. You keep fucking around if you want to. We'll find out.
I'll put it to you like this. In the Darkness, my dad is an OG Trek fan, like the original series from back in the day, right? He don't really watch like fiction movies like that. But he was like, yo, what's that Star Wars movie? Hey, put that on real quick. He watched that like In the Darkness with the Khan, like he liked that one. So I'm like, okay, if this movie can impress an OG Trek fan, if an OG fan is impressed by it, I'm like, that's a good movie. Then it's not just me being like a kid.
I remember watching an old episode of the original Star Trek with Khan on it, right? Yeah. Then I remember seeing the movie Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan in theaters. Right? Remember seeing it in theaters. That shit was put me off. That's when I had to figure out who this Khan dude was because I saw the rerun after, right?
Right.
Like, that's a bad fucking dude right there. Seeing JJ's version of it, I like that one even more. Like, oh yeah, this really played up. He is smart. He is physical. Ricardo Montalban was a little older, but he had the little beefy Latino chest out there. I was like, this motherfucker was about it.
One of my favorite scenes in that movie was when the New Age Spock asked old Spock, have you ever heard anybody named Connor? And you just see the look on Spock's face like, shit. He's like, okay, I know I told you that I wasn't going to say your future, but yeah, you need to watch this motherfucker.
Yeah. I told you I'd ruin the future, but no. He's a dangerous motherfucker.
We start breaking multiverse rules.
We start breaking rules. The Vulcans, the logical ones, breaking rules on that shit.
Last time we deal with this fool, I died. So nah.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you ever heard of Khan?
Only this time Kirk died and they brought him back.
Yeah, have I heard of Khan? That motherfucker here, kill him on sight.
We play no games with Khan.
No.
He is the most dangerous adversary we ever faced. No, don't take him lightly.
He is that on site.
He is that on site dude.
They ever do a fourth movie because they did leave it open. If they ever do a fourth movie, they need to bring Khan back.
I don't know if Benedict Cumberbatch should do it now. He's too busy playing Doctor Strange. But hell, I watch Khan again if he's gonna come back kicking people's ass and shit.
Yeah, but they left it open because they put him back in the pod.
Yeah, it's true. They can always defrost his ass. Yeah, Khan was a perfect balanced villain. Yes, he was a villain in the best ways, where they are ruthless, they are calculating, and in some ways they are seductive. Yeah, in some ways they are seductive. That they can talk to you and tell you that their side of it, and be like, "Man, Connie, I'm kind of feeling you. Let's fuck off the Federation.
Let's destroy the world."
Like this motherfucker got a point, man. He making sense. Like he's not winning yet, but I'm feeling him. Like I can agree. I can understand.
Back when Hollywood actually knew how to write a goddamn villain.
Oh my God, yes.
Which is the problem in all across media. They don't know how to write a damn decent villain.
And you watch enough of this shit like I do, Beasley. When you look at all of the different media, that there's 4 of us on the panel right now, everybody in the chat. All of y'all watch a bunch of different shows. Some of us overlap in the shows that we watch, but some of us watch some shit that nobody is watching. The stuff that you find that is bad to you as an audience member, what usually is the main problem? Fucking writing.
Yes.
Fucking writing. Who is writing this shit? What age group is writing this shit? Usually some 30 fucking year olds. So it's like, are these the kids that never had grades in school? They never had letter grades? You couldn't use a red pencil correcting their work? It's just how we feel about it, not how it actually makes sense for grammar and story development and shit like that. The fuck?
That was the generation of participation trophy shit to Cole. They fell for him. I'm of the 30-year-olds that didn't fall for that shit. Like, no, we want the bigger trophy.
Yeah, 34.
Facts.
Yeah, but case in point,
I need that.
Case in point, Ant-Man 3, Ant-Man Quantumania. Relatively decent movie, but whoever wrote that crap needs their butt kicked.
They do, but here's the thing. I was just listening to something recently. They were talking about Ant-Man and Quantumania and talking about what happened in that process of making that damn movie with the writing and shit. I said, so you still blaming that movie on Jonathan Majors? Kang was compelling.
No, Kang was good. Like I said,
Kang was good. Like I said, yeah, Kang was good. Scott Lang was all right, but some of the other writing stuff that we talk about, like "Don't Be a Dick," like whose sister wrote that stupid ass shit?
That was the lame shit.
Don't be a dick. Look, I was willing to buy Darren Cross getting sucked into the microverse or whatever fuck you want to call it, right? The quantum verse, and getting turned into MODOK. I was willing to buy that. Like, okay, that make some sense. He got shrunk down, the suit shrunk up around his big ass head. Okay, fine. How they wrote him as a joke, and the daughter is telling him not to be a dick. Like, shut the fuck up. That was trash, dude. I could imagine being an actor and being an actor that cares about the craft that you're doing. Right. And being on a set for a movie, a big budget movie, and you're sitting there reading your sheet, your lines, and this is the line you have to deliver, and somebody has to deliver this to you, and you're supposed to respond to that. Well, I don't be a dick. Like, bruh, it's only at that point.
It's for the bag. It's for the bag.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, like, this is my fucking line. How much are they paying me for this shit? This is just for the fucking bag.
And you see, that's the problem with.
I better hope this not fuck up my career. This better not fuck up my career.
Nah, because he went from generation. What's that movie? What's the vampire? The Strain. He went from that show which is a relatively good show. I like that show.
Oh yeah, The Strain. That was awesome.
Yeah, The Strain. The Strain was a good show.
Even in the first Ant-Man movie, he was not Darren was not somebody to be fucked with.
He was
Hank and Hank and what's his name was low key scared of him. Like Hope, he was low key scared of him.
Darren Cross in the comics, you're low key scared of him because he turned into this big purple thing or whatever the fuck. Forgot what other ability he had, but he's a problem. So I was fine with that. The character was in there. They changed him into the yellow jacket thing. He has an actual reason for being pissed off. Like, yeah, you sucked me down to this thing, but I didn't die, bitch. I'm back. Yeah, have the little murder droid be the murder droid, not be, I don't want to be a dick. What? A retard in a helmet?
But that's what they do. That's what they've been doing.
I don't even like MODOK, and that sucked.
No, but that's what they've been doing. All of their villains, they turn all of their fucking villains into freaking punchlines. Like you like. Let's talk about that atrocity She-Hulk with you introducing the Wrecking Crew. The Wrecking Crew are formidable. Why are you having them as a punchline?
Because the Wrecking Crew looks goofy. They look goofy, but when you understand they got like ex-Guardian strength and shit like that, you take them more seriously. And that motherfucker jump out with a crowbar or something like that and start whooping your ass. Like, okay, this is kind of a problem, man.
What's his name? Thunderball hit your ass.
Yeah, Thunderball. Okay,
it's over.
Okay, you start when Thor said, "No, these are my foes." And Thor start talking about them, then you understand, like, okay, they could be a problem. They look goofy as shit.
Yeah, like they showed them on the Earth Mightiest Heroes cartoon when Thor had to show up. He said, "No," he said they said that they look kind of goofy. He said, "No, they are actually pretty formidable. They have been blessed by Asgardian magic, so you need to take them seriously." And then you hear that battle cry.
Serious. Trust says some of us get our recommendations on what to watch here. Do you? I thought that was just a really small group of y'all, like a handful.
Mm-hmm.
I know some other people do. I was enjoying these brothers Double Toasted. They did a 2-part review, a retro review of Jim Cotta. I was like, yes, I like it when people listen. Because me and Dan said was just joking about that shit. Then that next fucking week, they was doing a Jim Cotta review. I'm like, who the fuck was thinking about Jim Cotta? Come on, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. I watched that shit too because I hadn't seen Jim Cotta in a while, but listening to their review on it, it was funny as hell because they was just roasting the shit out of it. And it was ripe for roasting. It was ripe for it. But that's a classic movie. It's a classic movie. You got Richard Norton in that shit. Come on, man. Writing is what did Trust say? Or excuse me, Aquateki said. Writing is the foundation of all stories told. Yes. I was listening to somebody's interview with James Gunn, and they were making a big deal how James Gunn was taking shots at Marvel. And what the article was saying was that James was talking about how he's doing things differently at DC and that he would not start a movie without a script. I'm like, yeah, well, that makes sense because that's the main problem with most of this Marvel shit. I said,
why would we start movies without scripts?
Yeah.
Yes. They never have a finished script. Doomsday
that's why.
Finished script. It's like, why would you start something like that? That's like driving a car with no fucking wheels on it.
That makes sense then. Yeah, that makes all sense.
We're gonna figure out how to build the brake shit, but we're going down the fucking road. We don't know where this is gonna go. We don't know how to steer this thing because we didn't put a steering wheel in it, but it has a motor and wheels, and it's just going now. Like, oh my god!
Don't got any tires.
Steer this bitch? No, that's problematic to me. You need to finish a script first. I don't care if you took 2 years to write a script, to lock it down, make it tight, and then make the movie. I'll wait. I got that kind of time. I'm not the microwave generation. Okay, I can not pace in front of the microwave waiting for popcorn to finish. Okay, like, this shit is taking too long. No, I can wait. Just get it right. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I want some decent fucking writing because decent writing means it can be animated, It could be live action.
Right.
It could just be on printed page. It'll still be good. It'll still be good. It'll still be awesome regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
but that's
shit
why it
like
seems
this-
like
Go ahead.
that's why I'm saying that's why it all makes sense now. I didn't know that they'd be starting with no scripts. That the movies seem disjointed. Like there's too many voices in the room at a crucial point where in a finished script, it's like, no, here's the direction. We already know the direction. And so we can go from there versus like, well, it could go here if we do this, or it could go here and it just start branching out in these wild timelines or these wild branches. Like, how did we get here? If you look at the beginning of the movie, you take a scene from like towards the end, it's like these look like two different movies. Like you could tell, like you could kind of see over time how like this the thought process of too many different voices who don't know what the hell they're talking about starting to get in and starting just changing stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's because that's what happens when you start doing things based off of bullet points. Because one of the most tragic things I heard from Marvel initially was that one, they never really have a full script before they start filming. The other thing is that they start filming all the action scenes first. And I'm like, well, what's the story leading up to the action? What's the story leading up to the action? What is the point of the action? You don't know yet? You ain't wrote it yet? So are we working backwards?
Apparently.
Like I got this cool scene I want, and now we can write for how we get to that scene.
They ain't got no excuse now either. They got Chat GPT now. You can just modify that motherfucker and keep it moving. But anyway,
I'm saying.
No, that just ain't problematic to me. It seemed backwards to me. Artists in the Wrecking Crew was like the NWO wrestling in the 1990s. Yeah, they were. Came in with that wolf pack. Woo! Wrecking bar. Dum, 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 dum.
I love that theme music though. Yeah.
Mhm. What up, Blood Boiling? He said they made Ultron into a joke in Age of Ultron MCU. When I saw the first teaser, I expected Ultron to be menacing, if not terrifying villain. Okay, here's my thing with Ultron. I like James Spader as Ultron, but being that this Ultron was based on Tony Stark and the original Ultron is based on Hank Pym created it, he had a menacing vibe, but it was more in that sarcastic, snarky way.
Mm-hmm.
Which made it a little scary to me. I might be the only one who liked this shit, but some of these new age villains having a sense of humor and a sense of there's something below the surface that this motherfucker might pop off at any moment, rather than the mad dog killer or the mastermind, is still interesting and fun to me. Because Ultron said some witty shit, but it was dark. Yeah. It was dark as shit. And he was telling them the whole time what he was going to do. And it was like, so you're going to destroy everybody? Yeah.
I was surprised they had that scene with with Scarlet Witch. I was like, you didn't think that this psychotic motherfucker was trying to destroy the planet? Like, you just
God. He's like, what did he say? What was that line? I love that line. He said, the dinosaurs went a whole time before they got it. And what did he say? Like, fate is just winding up again, right? Like, dude, you're not supposed to hear talk like that from an AI. That's creepy as shit.
Yeah.
When your chat GPT starts talking to you like James Spader Ultron, your ass will be scared for your life.
Nope.
Think he planning to take me out? Oh, the plan has already been in motion. You are getting taken out. There's no planning. He's already implemented this shit. This is happening.
No, wait. There is no, and there is no wait.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah, so I didn't mind. I like James Spader. If you've watched James Spader when he was young in movies and stuff like that, that was his ass. He was always that kind of smarmy motherfucker. Always. He was always cool, always would talk to you and shit like that, but you know this nigga was not cool at all. He was controlled, but yeah, I'm gonna kick your ass. Like, really, nigga? he was kind of cool, but you knew something was right there. It was right there below the surface. There was threats. It didn't matter how cool he said that shit. There was threats made.
Mm-hmm.
No scripts explains half the Marvel goofiness.
Yeah.
Half, 3/4.
Yeah,
You look at the stuff that's really good, when you look at the stuff that was really good in Marvel, what do you see happening? I had a fucking script, or at least an idea.
I'm about to beam out. I'll catch you later.
All right, AB, beaming out. I don't have a sound effect. One to beam up. That was the AB Media. Appreciate you, AB, the man in the Federation. Instant Media. Should get upgraded for all the due diligence you're doing in the Star Trek universe, man. We got to get you up from Ensign. Lieutenant Commander.
he been
Lieutenant Commander AB Bizzle. Right?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if I want to make you an admiral to have all that bureaucracy, but increase.
Well, ensigns are the red shirts, right?
What's that?
Ensigns are the red or the blue.
Ensign will be the person driving the ship, like Wesley Crusher.
No, I'm saying they're blue, right? He's blue.
No, blue is medical. AB would be more tech. He a tech dude, so he wearing the Geordie colors, the yellow shirts.
Okay,
the yellow shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he not the ones getting killed.
Yeah,
he'll be on the away team giving you the technical update of like, yep, Tricorder said this is fucked up here. I'm not on the science side, but you need something built. You do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going down. I'm not going down that planet, but you are.
Yeah, I'm going down to that planet. But when it's time to get the fuck out of here, I'll be the one at the helm.
It's kind of like that line.
Power, man.
It's kind of like that line in Boomerang with Eddie Murphy when he was talking about now why does such and such not know he's gonna get killed? Does he not know that when he's not the tech guy, he's not a medic, so he know that 4 we going down, 3 coming back.
Yeah, I'm not Yeoman Bowman. I wouldn't go down there. I count the shirts. I'm not going.
Yeah.
One too many shirts, red shirts, man. You going down?
They're not killing Kirk and Spock, so why are you going?
Kirk, Spock, and Bones. I'm not going.
Wow. Hey, who wants to volunteer? Not me.
Not me.
And we need to volunteer for this mission.
Every time they go down there with Kirk and Spock, somebody don't come back.
Damn, all hell the red shirts. Yeah, the red shirts.
Especially if you're not that hot. If you're like just kind of mid looking, you're dead.
Yeah.
You're cooked.
If
you're super hot, you might survive.
It was funny as hell, Aquatechie. Back when we had the shop, I think it was a free comic book day. And this family, one of the families came in to the shop and they had just had a baby. And the baby had a red shirt onesie or some shit like that on. I looked in there and like, oh, that's fucked up. Like, now we know who ain't making it back from this away team, this away mission to the comic shop. The baby ain't coming back. The baby in the red shirt, man. That's fucked up. You could have just aborted it. Like, the fuck?
Oh my god.
Dude, the jokes wrote themselves. They was Trekkies too. They put that baby in that shit.
Dang, that's crazy. You know what this means, don't you?
Yeah, you know what this means. You're letting everybody know right now. Every away mission from your home base means this baby cannot.
Let them know how you feel about your child, huh?
And get that motherfucker a complex.
Thanks.
If you're not Scotty, good luck. Yeah, if you're not Scotty, good luck to you. Because Scotty, the miracle worker, man, you are not. You are not. You might be one of the motherfuckers just working down there in engineering, getting blown off of a catwalk or something.
Oh no, those guys! Oh, the randos! Shout out to the randos.
The fucking rando techies.
Soon as the shot shake, sparks fly. Ooh, sorry, buddy.
The defensive shields are down.
How do you know the shields are down? You see that motherfucker up there? We just lost him. I don't even know who the hell he is.
He floating out of space right now.
Yeah, no shit. Get the torpedo.
Shout out to bro.
Ready for him because he out of here.
This that conversation that goes back to like in Kirk's when they was talking about the guys working on the Death Star, and we was talking about you the guy working on the damn Star Trek Enterprise, and it get blasted to oblivion, and you floating in space, and all you did was probably your first day on the job getting recruited.
Man, you just the janitor, nigga. You got blown out in space. Like I didn't sign up to be in no battle. What these Romulans pissed off for? I don't know no Romulans.
You just got promoted. You like, yes.
That's all I'm here for.
Yeah, imagine you just get promoted. You like, yes, I get promoted to what? To Discovery? Oh hell yeah! I get what? Yes, sir. All of a sudden, the Borg
Tough
show up.
James
Oh
Spader.
no! Day
Yeah.
one Borg, you're
Yeah.
cooked, buddy. It's
Yeah,
over.
Dr. T, tough turf, James Spader, less than zero, James Spader. What was the other one? I want to say it was Pretty in Pink or something like that, James Spader. And then The Practice, James Spader, older James Spader. He's played some roles, man. He has played some fucking. And I never watched The Blacklist, but I heard he was great in The Blacklist too.
Oh,
That
it's
was,
he makes that on the show.
Yeah.
I watched
That show is so
episodes
great.
of
James
yeah.
Spader is that same generation like Robert Downey Jr. The same generation of actors.
His monologues on the Blacklist are incredible. If you just go on YouTube and like look up just his monologues when he's like going through a different scene, they're absolutely masterful.
Yeah, put it this
How he
way.
navigate situations.
Put it this way. Cillian Murphy is this generation's version of James Spader. Put it that way.
Yeah.
James Spader is
Okay,
he
okay.
is a solid fucking actor. Solid actor.
Okay. Yeah, them Gen X actors are kind of hard though. You got him. Is Vincent? Would Vincent be like late Gen X? No, Vincent's older. He'd be Boomer, right? D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah,
he's later. He's like a Gen Xer, I would think.
Yeah, he's Gen X.
Yeah. So I'm like, just saying, all them damn Gen X are like them, like mid late 50s, early 60s dudes. It's like they're kind of cold. I ain't gonna hold you.
No, they're actors. They're actors in the sense where you had to be great actors because at the time they were coming up, they were still coming up under legends. Like last night, if you look on my community tab, I put a picture up on my community tab last night about a classic flick, right? And I was just sitting here fucking doing my laundry at work and watching this movie I hadn't watched in a long time and really thinking this is a great goddamn movie. This is a very good movie, from the music, from how the scenes are set up, the costumes and stuff. And then thinking about the cast of it at the time, the movie was The Untouchables with Kevin Costner. But if you think about it now, it's Kevin Costner, it's Sean Connery, Robert De Niro, I think that was Robert Drago, young Andy Garcia.
Ooh.
There's a couple of other dudes in there that are known fucking villains nowadays. It was a stacked fucking cast of people, really good actors. I thought about one scene clearly. It's like, damn, Sean Connery was old in this, and this was after James Bond, but he still had a fight scene in that shit. Two old Irish cops fighting out in the rain. He was beating that dude's ass. I was loving that shit. But it was a great goddamn movie. It was a great
that
movie.
scene you posted was nice. That was a great scene you posted. I ain't never seen that before.
Yeah, that's a great scene because if moments in film are captured, if you look at one scene in a movie, this is what I talk about, like some scenes in movies just works as a snapshot. You get what the hell is going on. If you look at just that scene, what's going on in that moment, if you've seen that movie, you understand that that's Al Capone played by Robert De Niro. And then Elliot Ness, played by Kevin Costner, meeting each other face to face in a fucking courtroom. You understand what's happening. You get the tension in that damn scene of what that moment means to be face to face in a courtroom like that. And they being held back and shit. It's like, that's a beautiful fucking scene, dude. It's shot really well. I still love that movie. I still like Frank Nitti. Because Frank Nitti was a motherfucker. That motherfucker had bodies from the beginning to the end of that movie. Damn.
But going back to your early point, it's shot well, it's acted well, and most importantly, it's written well.
It's written well. It's written very well. And the acting was solid. You can have good writing and shit acting, right? You can. Yeah. And vice versa. You have great acting and shit writing. They can go either way, but when those things all work together, like I end up finding a connection to movies that I didn't even think of last night. I watched The Untouchables, And then the next movie I watched, I hadn't watched in a long time, was 8 Million Ways to Die with Jeff Bridges, right? I forgot that Andy Garcia was in that shit too. This is from the 80s. You can see a young Jeff Bridges, a very young Jeff Bridges. This is probably after Starman, right? Like getting close to the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. Young Andy Garcia in that shit. There's a young Tony Tiny Lister in that shit too. When he wasn't as big, when Debo wasn't as big, he was just cut straight up and down. I was like, damn, I didn't remember Tiny was in this movie. Holy shit. Watch that movie and laugh about how big their guns are on their hip and they're supposed to be cops and they got these big ass revolvers and shit. Look how it'll look like a throwback to you young folks. But it was fun to watch that shit and see him trading lines with Jeff Bridges and how they wrote that shit. Because it sounds chaotic. Like they constantly talk to each other, but what it is, I think, is that they're letting scenes just run and the actors are just feeding off each other the whole time. So what Andy Garcia does in most of his scenes is he's right here face to face with somebody, but you're always getting them on his profile and he in their face and just saying shit to them. And it's always controlled fucking anger. Like he either high or drunk or something like that, but he a money dude. But he got intense threats, veiled threats that's happening the whole time. But it seems like they just interacting with each other because the one scene in that shit, it happens in LA. They standing outside and they talking business, eating fucking snow cones. I was like, they gotta be the dumbest scene in the fucking film. Because they exchanging some real barbs. The two characters are exchanging some real barbs with each other, talking about buying drugs and shit like that, or who killed this prostitute, right? But they're sitting there eating snow cones at the time. Like, this had to be a pain in the ass to shoot out in broad daylight, a fucking melting ass snow cone in your hand. This is stupid. Like I said, The Untouchables, directed by the late great Brian De Palma. That was a great movie. He did his damn job on that. And what's up, Charles? He said, "Woo, the brightness. Ooh, the darkness. Darkness falls in the chat." Take that off the screen. Yeah. So, Untouchables was good. 8 Million Ways to Die was all right. It was chaotic. It seemed like I'd really want to see the script itself to see what it looked like and how much was said and how much of it was maybe ad-libbed. So you can see what Jeff Bridges is doing. It's fun to watch him at a young Jeff Bridges, see how animated he is, and then to watch him now to see how little he's animated. He moved like Bo Bridges now. Like his brother, he's not as animated, but some of that stuff still comes out. Not the Lebowski part, but just the Jeff Bridges part of it.
One thing I do kind of not like miss, but one thing I wish that we could have gotten is like modern movies. Let's say starting like in the early 2000s or mid 2000s on, you start getting like director commentary from films. Whereas before you really didn't get that because like with the advent of DVDs allowed you to have director commentary, directors, all that stuff going on either while the movie's playing or like a 30-minute sort of thing afterwards. I got that when I watched Pan's Labyrinth, I watched it and then I watched it with his director's commentary. And so you get like what he thought and kind of his mindset going into certain scenes, right? I wish that some of those movies that you're talking about.
That was why I like DVDs. Yeah. That was why I bought this is why I started buying DVDs when they came out, because you can get that information. I loved hearing that stuff. All that production stuff is the stuff that I would watch too, because I love that part. Like who is the model maker? How long did it take to make this goddamn model? What was the director thinking about at this scene? What was the script writer thinking or having sit down and talked about? And then having conversations with them, and if they're doing a watch along right, commenting on the movie. They're watching the movie and they're commenting. If the director and the actor and maybe the screenwriter or something like that is there, that's some of the most interesting conversations. If it's special effects, the special effects guy sitting there, those are some of the most interesting conversations to me, regardless of the movie, because you're understanding all the parts that went into making this one scene that you thought was amazing. Everything that went into that shit. Like, and if you understand it from that aspect, these motherfuckers were stressed trying to get this here. To get this to this point, they were stressed.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
I love it when they have effortless, the quote unquote effortless looking scenes. It's like, no, man, we did this 50 times.
We did.
This broke. That fell off. I'm like, really? But it looks gorgeous. Like, yeah, because it took us 3 days to shoot it.
Yeah, this was a week's worth of night shoots. Like, night shoots.
I'm like,
damn. A week? God damn, that's a lot of standing around, moving shit in the cold. Yeah, it sucked.
Or when you see like, yes. Or when you see like, that was weird right there. I wonder why they did that. And it's like, this little Easter egg thing. That's why we put this here, because this is not to something that's like, I knew it.
Or it was like, that looked weird. That looked like something happened. Oh yeah, see, this was a mistake. This wasn't what
yeah.
I didn't even look like it.
Like, I got it. I knew.
Yeah, that's my favorite scene, but that wasn't planned. That was a fuck up. Okay.
Yep.
Made it into the script. I don't know how. The editor left that shit in there. It was funny. That was the one good take we got, so we kept it. Yeah, but it's funny. Yeah, it wasn't planned that way.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, I wish that some older movies, you could go back and just like kind of go through. Like you said, like for The Untouchables, the director's dead now. Like it would have been nice to have seen like, okay, when he wrote this scene or when they acted it, what happened? Like, did somebody hit somebody on purpose? Like, well, not on purpose, but like, did somebody hit somebody on accident, or like, like, oh, did they keep that in or whatever? Like all that kind of things. Because we don't have that necessarily with a lot of those classic films. We just have like those modern classics.
Not really. I mean, I'm thinking you could probably find it somewhere where they were talking to, because they've always done junkets and shit like that, right? As far as I know, they've always done junkets. They've always done, press conferences or sitting down with interviewers and stuff like that, talking to promote the movies that they're in, especially at that time, the 80s. That's kind of ramping up for that shit. I'm sure there's interviews recorded sitting down with Brian De Palma or Kevin Costner or anybody else talking about The Untouchables, Robert De Niro, because they were such monumental roles for them as actors and whatnot. I can tell you, I remember seeing Kevin Costner in his first movie, which was Night Shift with fucking Henry Winkler and goddamn Michael Keaton.
Dang.
Right? So seeing Kevin Costner come up to the point where he is leading a movie, leading in a role, was like, damn, this is a great movie. I'd really want to see Silverado again too, just to see young Kevin Costner and why you can watch something like Yellowstone and like, oh, he got total credibility to be riding a horse because he's been doing that shit since the fucking 80s, nigga. That was dancing before Dances with Wolves. That was the little wild dude with the two guns and riding a horse. It's like he's always done stuff like that his whole fucking career. But those are some movies that people don't usually nowadays. They might not have seen. They might maybe have heard about, and it's a real interesting position I find myself in now. To when I was in my teens and some of these older movies that my mother may have liked, my father may have liked, right? That I might not have watched. Yeah. That if they could sit down and actually talk to me about this movie, I probably would be interested in watching it. But that's how I found stuff that I really did like from just sitting down with them. It's like, oh no, this is a great movie. What is this shit? Okay, let's just watch it. Oh, this was actually really good. I really like that. Music Man. My mother liked that movie. I ended up loving the movie. I thought it was fun. So it's shit like that. But I will never see, unless I did it myself, I don't think I would see somebody's review of Silverado, right? And what it means to have 5-6 great actors in it. And if I listed off the actors, you'd be like, yeah, these are all huge names now. Yeah, They were. And then, right? So it's a cowboy movie that isn't the Magnificent Seven with all these actors in it playing kind of cowboys. It was cool as shit. It was a Danny Glover role where you actually liked him before Mister.
Yeah.
Before Mister, but after The Witness when he was a villain. So stuff like that. Those are movies. Those, at least for my Gen X, classic movies that should be reviewed in this time frame, so people can actually go back and watch those movies. Because there's some good shit out there. Even if
And I think that's what's.
go ahead.
I would say using your Untouchables example and stuff like that. Like I think that's kind of what we don't have today. We don't have movies where it's like it's a bunch of really good young or young-ish actors with like a very established actor, and that you can then like that we can kind of go back in time and be like, oh wow, that movie was acted really well. Like that was a really good movie. Having all these guys who are now like older, but back then we saw the chops, we saw that they're really good at this craft, and we've seen them progress. Like we don't have films like that. Like within the last 20 years, we have very precious few films that have been made kind of with that in mind.
And you're right. And I would say this is just an idea. This is one of the reasons why I hadn't watched much geek content this week, right? Because nobody's talking about shit. Yeah. It's all short snippets of bullshit that I've already heard. And it's nothing really new, right? Especially if you check out, other reviewers and stuff like that. Look, I can tell you there's two reviewers I'm looking forward to watching every week, and they're reviewing shit. Some of it is stuff that they're watching for the first time. And why do I enjoy that? Because I've seen this shit already. But what I enjoy is people's seeing something for the first time that they've never seen. That's what I enjoy, because that sense of adventure and excitement and surprise at watching something. I was watching Force of Light Entertainment, right? Natalie and Michelle, right? They're watching Firefly. I don't know where they heard about it, but they're watching Firefly for the first time. I've been watching it since they started watching it. They're doing it episode by episode and watching it for the first time and enjoying it. Now, these women are probably in their 30s, maybe closer to 40s, right? Cool. I don't know how you would never seen it before, but fine, you didn't. You find it when you find it. Right? I'm having more fun watching the episode with them, or having more fun watching them watch an episode I've seen multiple times. And it's fun as hell to me. Seeing their reactions to watching this shit is more fun to me. That's more fun than listening to a 2-hour stream about a bunch of people repeating the same talking points about why you shouldn't like a movie. I'm a Gen Xer. I look for long form content. I don't look for a bunch of short snippets of bullshit. That is not that damn interesting to me. Because if I'm working or I'm just spending my time, I want to listen to somebody talking about something. Even if the conversation keeps evolving, that's more interesting to me than having to have 10 minutes or 15 minutes of just this and then moving on. It doesn't hold my attention like that. And I don't have a short attention span at all. It just seems like it's never really delved into that much. Right? So me thinking about this and having an idea right now is for all these other reviewers out there, instead of just reviewing geek shit, why don't you show some fucking film appreciation? I'm not talking about you got to go back to all the black and white stuff and talk like a theater nerd about this stuff, but there's a shitload of classic movies from the 80s and 90s, and there's a shitload of actors that are really good. Why don't you just focus on an actor for a month and go through some of their classic movies that you probably haven't seen before? 1 second, you guys.
Yeah.
and break down what type of content, what is quality content versus what isn't. Because as opposed to telling people why is shit, you need to actually explain what is a good example of good quality storytelling and good content.
Yeah, but I mean, but all of the content now is kind of rage bait, and it's kind of just like kind of hate porn on corn. Sorry, hate corn. Kind of,
Yeah.
just because it's just like, oh, I hate this. Oh, because this is bad. Because yada yada. This is terrible because X Y Z. It's like, okay, cool, sure, but like, why does something work, or why can something work? You don't give us anything. You just everybody just craps on things, and certain things deserve to be crapped on, rightly so. But if you
Mhm.
just crap on things, people don't know. We can all kind of generally consensus tell when something's bad, but the subjectivity kind of comes in where it's like, well, what makes this not as bad as you would think it would be? Like, oh, okay, because this is shot well, or this actor does this, and they're like, okay, cool. Make people inform your audience instead of just kind of confirming that I hate this. Yay, yay, yay. I'm like, that's lazy. That's lazy writing on your, or that's lazy content creation. It's like, well, this movie is bad. I mean, one of Artisan's favorite people, the serious alcoholic. That's kind of
I
his
don't
whole
mind
shtick.
critical drinker. He's fucking what, Irish or European? Scottish.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can't hate my countrymen. You can hate me. You can hate
But
me, but it's in the
just
genes, motherfucker. Everybody got their own opinion. I don't have to agree with it, but you have it all day.
yeah, but I'm saying like he's kind of like the poster child for the whole that whole style of like, this is bad, hate this. This is bad, hate this. Like, I went through his video feed one day. I was like, Jesus Christ! It's like nothing on here is like positive. It's just this movie's crap. This movie's crap. This movie's
But
crap. And it's like people
this
like
is
that sort of thing, but you're not forwarding the movie critic process or the movie goers process. You're not informing your audience of anything. You just kind of like, for all intent and for all kind of like practical purposes, just kind of jacking them off. Like, yeah, you hate this, don't you? It's like, yes, tell me how much I hate it. And it's like, okay, what is it? What are we doing here?
well, my thing is, I don't have a problem with people being critical of things, right? I don't have a problem with that. For me, when I do my reviews, I try to just bring some balance to it. I try to be fair about it in some ways, right? Despite what didn't work in the movie, like I said, no matter how thin the line is, I usually try to draw a silver liner around this shit, right? And try to pick out the
Yeah.
most positive things or the things that really work about it. Because no movie is perfect to me. There's no perfect movie. Even Sinners had flaws, and I love the hell out of Sinners, right? I've seen the motherfucker 5 times. I've seen Black Panther about 5 times. There's flaws in both of those movies, but they are mostly great. That's why I say I always put the shit on a scale. The more good things you have going on with that movie than the negative things, I mean, it's making it a better movie experience for me. Plain and simple. So there's flaws in all of this shit. But I don't try to overly fixate on the flaws unless the people making the shit are really trying to talk down to me or they really fucked up the characters. As far as you making up your mind, the part that I actually have a problem with the reviewers is they don't want to own that they're doing it, but they know they are because they're profitable from it. You're steering the audience in a certain direction, right? I may impress upon you guys, hey, this was good. It might be worth your money to see. I enjoyed it. That don't mean that you have to enjoy it, but I enjoy it. I'm just giving you my experience on the shit. If you watch the shit, you watch it. If you don't, you don't. But hey, I think it might be good enough that it's worth spending your money on. Or I think don't spend your fucking money on it. But if you want to, that's your business. It's your money, right? I don't recognize myself as being in any position to tell you yay or nay. I'm just telling you what I saw. You might see something different, which means even if I hated the fucking movie, you going to see it and then come back to me and say, hey, Artisan, I saw that movie. That was not that bad to me. The first thing I'm going to ask you, really, what did you like about it? Not that, oh, you're fucking stupid because you liked it. No. Look, I might not agree with you, but I do want to hear your side of it. because maybe it's pointing out something that I didn't see in it or I didn't catch in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all it is. It's just a conversation about the movie. Because number one, I didn't make the motherfucker. Number two, my money didn't necessarily go into making it. Not necessarily. Maybe pennies. Maybe I bought some gaffer tape or some shit like that in the movie because I gave the company some money for something else they did. I didn't sit down and have to write it. I didn't sit down and have to produce it. They didn't come to me and knock on my door and ask me, can we get some money to make this next movie? No, they didn't ask me that. Can we get $5 from you for it? No. All I did was pay my money, went to the theater, sat my ass down there for 2 hours and deciding on what I liked and what I didn't about that whole process, about that whole 300 list of names that worked on that shit. I'm deciding if whatever they did was worth the time they spent doing it. For my 2 hours of sitting there like, oh yeah, that was shit. That's why I don't believe in just ruining movies. Look, if it's a bad movie to you, it's just a bad movie to you, nigga. That's it. You don't speak for nobody else but you. I don't speak for anybody else but me. But I try to be truthful in that I'm not trying to lead you in one direction or another. You believe what the hell you want to about whatever. I'm just telling you, for me, I thought it sucked. For me, I thought The Acolyte was a huge waste of goddamn time.
Mm-hmm.
It was. And it was very Star Wars, according to some people, because it had lightsabers in it. I thought Andor season 2 was vastly better than that shit, and they didn't have one lightsaber one time. Go figure. It's still in the Star Wars universe, but one of these was really good and one of these was really shit. You figure out between yourself which one it is. You can say you love The Acolyte. Good. What did you love about it? Please tell me. Because I would want to like it, I think. I'd want it to be good in the Star Wars universe, but it wasn't. So you tell me what kernels of goodness you pulled from it, because I watched the whole goddamn thing, and the most I got was the power of many.
Oh no!
In a girthy brown lightsaber hill. Like if they didn't want some black dick, I don't know what they want.
Oh my gosh!
Jeez.
Like I don't get this whole thing, like this hate train thing that's happening. That's kind of in the zeitgeist right now. Because me personally, I want to love everything that I watch because I don't want to feel like I wasted my money on something that's terrible.
No, I would think I want balance in it. I don't have to like everything, right? I don't. Look, you have to suffer through a shit movie to understand what a really good movie is. You have to have a really good movie to understand what a really shit movie is.
Well, maybe I described it wrong. So I would like to like everything that I watch. But back to what you said earlier, like if somebody can tell, and then if I don't, give me something good that because I felt it was so bad. Give me something that you maybe saw like that I can kind of change my view on. So I can generally like this was a bad movie, but like okay. Maybe the cinematography was nice, even though the acting was bad and the script was terrible. Like, okay, cool. Like, but so that kind of trains me. Like, I know even if this is quote unquote not very good, I can learn how to pick the good things out of it. Yeah. I think that's a better way to put it.
Yeah, the most you guys will see me do on here is I try to pique your interest to look at things. And at least to look at things with a sense of curiosity and wonder to see, okay, let me see the story that they're telling me. He thought this was good. Why did he think it was good? You know, just to pique your interest, because I've mentioned 3 movies already in this shit. The Untouchables, Silverado, and 8 Million Ways to Die. You can watch all 3 of those movies and say, man, some of this shit is hilarious. What was it last week? We was mentioning Jim Cotta and shit like that. Why? Because these are all old movies that I've seen, and they're not old in the sense of it was made in black and white era. No, this is just the fucking 80s. It's just the 80s and 90s. They were pumping out so many goddamn movies, dude. You couldn't have possibly watched all of them. So there's a lot of stuff out there for you to get your seasoning with of understanding where things have come from to where they are. Because if you can see something as being really bad, like you're saying, there's probably some good stuff in it. Probably is. Because even, look, Robo Vampire is objectively one of the shittiest vampire movies ever fucking made. Until Artie Idmore was raving about Robo Vampire and asked me to watch that shit, and then I watched it and it was trash from the 80s, it's more fun to watch it because it's so fucking ridiculous. I love that movie now just for the amount of laughs it gave me. It makes a smile just come to my face every time I think about that shit now. And it's a trash shit movie, but there is a place for shit movies sometimes. If you're gonna sit around with your homeboys on a Saturday, y'all gonna drink beer or popcorn, whiskey, whatever the fuck you doing, and you just want to have a laugh, or you one of these dudes that like getting high all the time. If you want to sit around and get high and laugh at something, you can put on Robo Vampire. Y'all would laugh your asses off. You laugh your ass off. But at the time they made that movie, they was taking it seriously. It's hilarious. Mm-hmm. It's like putting the Phantasm on for my kids. That shit was terrifying as hell to me when I was like 8 or so. 8 to 10. I put that shit on for my kids. They was laughing their ass off at that shit. They didn't believe the blood. They didn't believe the scariness. They was in there fucking chuckling. Said the blood looked like Chipotle sauce. I was like, I'm done. I can't watch this. Y'all ruining one of my favorite scary movies.
And then you got your kids looking at you sideways like, Dad,
this was scary to you, Dad? Oh my God. Even the youngest one, even my daughter, a little scary ass, she was laughing her ass off at that shit. They could not take it serious at all, dude. I'm like, even the little trolls or whatever they were from the other dimension, it was beating up the people. They was rolling. I'm sitting there like, yeah, this shit is kind of silly now. Because I remember being terrified of that movie. I remember being terrified of that movie when I was younger. Now, here they are close to my age watching this shit. They laughing their ass off. This shit is ridiculous to them. Oh, man. Okay, time has moved on. Facts have gotten better. What scares people in the 80s is not what scares these motherfuckers in the 2000s. Mm-hmm. That's nothing, man. That's bullshit. That's trash. That's trash, Dad. That's not even a midget, man. It's just a puppet. Just luck you had to be there when it was scary. Artist in a cheap Star Wars coloring book from the dollar store would be better than the Acolyte. It could be. It could be. There were some good performances in there that were dragged down by how shit the story was. Because make no mistake about it, the dude playing the stranger, I think he did his work fight choreography-wise. He did his work. While the character might have been interesting, how that character was positioned was not. Because basically he in there like a fucking pedo. Like trying to seduce a young girl to his cause. No, we just got one lightsaber and we're going to share it, baby. You can be my acolyte. Your sister got a little bit of this training, but now I want you because you're a twin. So I want to see if it's the same all the way up. He looked like he was grooming her.
Like a pimp to me.
Yeah. I fucked your sister. Now I'm gonna fuck you too. But you're gonna want to. You are gonna want to fuck me.
That's what
the first Star Wars movie where you got people leering at somebody's dick, and it's supposedly written by a lesbian. I'm like, she ain't a lesbian by choice. She a lesbian by circumstance, nigga. That's what she was left with. Because no dude wanted chin near his dick. But apparently, you still got some penis fetishes. Because that's all I saw in that shit. Even down to the veiny, girthy lightsaber hilt.
Oh, goodness.
Veiny, thick, brown lightsaber hilt. I was like, if that is not a metaphor for what they want, how they have the power, like, I don't know what is, dude. You had whole dudes making lightsaber. They never made some girthy ass shit like that. Because those are white dudes. But you know what I'm saying.
You know?
Each passing year, a lot less scares me. No shit. That's just how it is when you grow up, Charles. It's just how it is. So it's funny to think about. That's why I say you have to go back every so often and watch some stuff from your past that you really enjoyed and see if you still really like it. That's how you can tell how good it is, right? Go back and watch something that you were scared of when you were younger. This shit might not be scary at all now. It's just because you've lived longer now. You've lived more life. You've seen more shit now. Yo has been in the war zone, dude. Next to an IED going off next to you, I don't think yo has to be scared of too much, especially being a Baltimore cop. Just saying, that's supposed to be in and of its own.
8-legged freaks isn't going to do it for you now.
No, unless you got a serious spider phobia. And if you've seen 8-legged freaks and that freaks you out, you need to go back and watch Arachnophobia.
Oh yeah,
you need to go back and watch Arachnophobia. And
then
then after you watch, if you want to do creepy spider movies, you watch Arachnophobia, Empire of the Spiders from like the 70s or some shit like that. And what's another old black and white one, like Attack of the 50-Foot Spider or some bullshit like that, I think it was. Watch some of that shit. Arachnophobia will probably fuck you up because that was done in the 90s where we actually trying to be campy but scary. Had your ass in situations where you like, dude, I be in situations like that all the time. Fuck that, because I walked into a HVAC room yesterday in broad daylight, and it was a spider web up on there. I said, where are these goddamn Black Widows at, man? What the fuck? No, it's not a good time.
Those 90s like monster movies. I love those. That's my jam.
Yeah, because they're trying to scare you. Not just piranhas. They're trying to scare you.
Piranhas, Lake Placid, Tremors.
Fuck.
The Relic.
The Relic.
Yeah.
Jeepers Creepers.
Where'd you get those papers?
Nightmare on Elm Street, the original ones. Right?
Mm-hmm.
First couple of them, like the first 3 original ones.
Mm-hmm.
Hellraisers.
Okay. Wait,
Lake Placid was good.
Yes, sir.
Anaconda was just good for J-Lo in the water.
Yes.
J-Lo Ice Cube, right?
And I found out the behind the scenes on that movie. Cube had them rewrite the script to make him to where he survived. He said, "I will do it only if y'all rewrite the script and I survive." And they did it.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
There's
a bunch of them, a bunch of horror movies. I would tell you watch Shudder. Okay. Not Shutter Island, Shudder, the one about spirit photography. And then the Japanese version of The Grudge.
Oh no.
The Japanese version of Shudder is creepier than actual Shudder. That was when Hollywood was bringing over Japanese horror movies and making them Americanized. So they made a bunch of these movies that were Americanized movies, but they were based on Japanese movies. So it was the same movie. They just took American actors and put them in it and then shot the same movie again for American audiences.
Grudge 1 and 2 was cool. The third one went off the rails. I was like,
third one was off the rails. Grudge 1 and 2. Grudge 1 was bad enough. And mind you, I was married to an Asian woman at that time. That shit, that long black hair shit, that was not okay in our house. That was not okay in our house, man.
Don't you dare come out the shower with your hair with him.
You could not come out the shower with that shit. She'd do that shit to my son. He'd be like, that ain't funny. No fucking way. That was not cool. My daughter could not come in my room at night. You standing by the end of my bed in the middle of the night.
Hey, look, I remember watching
getting shot.
Like, because when the second one came out, that was the first time I remember being like, yo, pumped to see like a third installment. Like, oh, I got to see where the story is going at this point. But then they came out direct to DVD. I was like, oh, shit, this is not going to be good.
Yeah. You watch some of those alien abduction movies, watch The Fourth Kind and Fire in the Sky. And understand that those are based on true stories. The Fourth Kind will fuck you up in a sense because they made a theatrical movie of it, but they used actual footage from that case in it. So you think they're doing some CG bullshit. No, this is the actual footage from that time because it's based on a true story and they have that footage. I'm telling you, that shit had me sleeping with my blinds closed at night. because I did not want to look outside in the tree outside my window and see no kind of bird sitting in that bitch looking at me, because I knew what that meant. If there's a white owl sitting in the bushes, sitting in the tree looking at me through my window, you about to get the anal probe, homie. You about to get the abduction anal probe. No, that shit had me sleeping with my blinds closed for like a month. I swear to God, and I was a grown ass man. Like, nope, that's a little.
You felt like Tom from Boondocks. Felt like Tom from Boondocks. You won't touch my booty.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom.
Yeah, blood boiling. Yes, I was married to an Asian woman. That was not a mistake. Yeah, my ex-wife is Asian. She's Thai. Like 5'4" and 3/4 of an inch. 5'3", 5'3" and 3/4. Yeah. Yep, that's my ex-wifey. But don't feel bad. Every dude that was in the military before got an Asian ex-wife. especially if you've been stationed overseas, motherfucker. How do you think they get here? Don't worry, you just a starter husband. They divorce you and find white boys. And that's by design, not because you fucked up. It's just by design.
Yeah.
Life is stranger than fiction. I've seen it too many times for it to be just me, nigga.
To get your kid, like, all right, you got your 1 or 2 kids, and then I'm about to be out.
That's 7 years, nigga. Now, I could say for my ex-wifey, I was not in the military. She was a military brat, but I think she'd be first gen here. She was raised here the whole time. So yeah, it is what it is. But the family, my ex-in-laws, that's how every one of the sisters got here. That's how every one of the sisters got here. And they was all married to black dudes first. Then they divorced them and got white boys. So now they get to be bosses in their house. And talk shit to them dudes. That's why brother wasn't putting up with that shit. Talking shit to me. Bitch, you was squatting in the bushes when I found you.
Ooh.
That's not a lie. That was a true statement. Pissing in the river and shitting in the bushes. So,
especially if you got your country girl that's not from
I'm an American woman now. I want what's coming to me. Shut the fuck up.
Eddie, you treat me like animal.
You treat me like animal. Butt naked on
Thanks
the
for reminding me. I meant to go find that damn stand-up somewhere.
Eddie Murphy Raw? You have not found Eddie Murphy Raw?
No. I meant to go rewatch it to find it to go rewatch it.
Oh, yeah. You should be. Look, man. I was thinking about this not too long ago because I've been thinking of other ideas on stuff to review, right? And one of them I just had right now on the stream with you guys is just to pick an actor and just go through movies in their catalog, right? Good movies that are in their catalog, especially since a lot of them is check it out right now. You might want to go back and, avail yourself and do some reviews on some of these actors and their good works.
Bruce Willis, his wife, what she just posted on Father's Day, because, Bruce Willis got dementia. Now, thinking about that shit, I was like, God damn. Val Kilmer, Bruce Willis, all the legends.
I love Bruce Willis movies. I like Bruce Willis as a person and an actor. He's done a lot of good movies. If you want to watch a funny one, go back and watch Blind Date with him and Kim Basinger, John Larroquette. That shit is hilarious, dude. And you'll see Bruce Willis physical comedy and shit. Right? Gene Hackman. I still have to finish watching The French Connection because I had never seen The French Connection.
No.
There's a lot of good movies out there that will give you the understanding of why these actors are so revered. Go back and watch old Val Kilmer movies. Mm-hmm. It's all out there. It's all on streaming services now, so you can find this shit a lot easier. It's not like back in the 80s and 90s where your ass had to go to a mom and pop video store. You're like, oh, what is this shit? Oh, who's in this? You don't have to look like that. All you have to do is sit on your Google machine and type in the actor's name, and it'll pull up every fucking movie they ever did. You're like, oh, I got this list. Okay, I can go by years. Okay, here's the list. What streaming service is showing this? And they'll link it right to you. Like, oh, Tubi? Awesome. Amazon? I'm already paying for that. You'll find a lot of stuff. I was watching The Untouchables last night on this fucking Roku smart TV. It was just a free-to-watch movie. I was like, The Untouchables is free to watch? Hell yeah. Bam! Let's get it, man. I don't give a fuck what time it is. 10 o'clock at night, I don't care. I'm watching The Untouchables.
IMDb has it all, like every actor, just whatever they've done chronologically from starting with the thing they did most recently.
Yeah, I love stuff.
Most recently to the end. So you can, like I said, just pick an actor. You can go to the bottom of the page and be like, okay, he started acting in 73. What was his first film? Oh, some random.
What was his get on? Yeah, what was his get on?
Yeah.
Which was his first speaking role? Which was the roles that really made him stand out? Which was his Academy nomination nod? Did he win an Oscar?
Yeah.
Did she win an Oscar? What was the Oscar winning thing? I mean, I remember stuff like that, and I missed it. I think it was Malika who reminded me of it. It was like I couldn't remember why Helen Mirren was such an actor, why this old British woman was trying to act all sexy, until Malika reminded me Helen Mirren was the one in the Excalibur movie that I loved. I'm like, holy shit, that was her. She was hot shit one time. She was a hot piece of British ass back in the day. Now that's why she was this old lady sexy and shit. Now I get it. I don't know how I was having that disconnect that they was the same person. I don't know how I was having that. But back in the day, oh yeah, Helen Mirren was a hot piece of ass, dude. Like, how the fuck Morgana with Faye back in the day too? Just not. King Arthur times? Yeah, I might have slayed her too, man. Look, it worked for the Lannisters. Morgana would have got some Faye. She's got.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, now it makes sense. Oh, that's Helen Mirren. Got you. Okay, yeah, she was hot one time. Okay, so Bruce Willis was right. There was a time. She look old now, yeah, but there was a time you would have been strapping her ears on like a helmet and just face fucking.
Slaying some dragons, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, slaying some dragons, boys. You would have grabbed your sword of power. You'd have been for it. Like, hell yeah.
Reinserting the sword into the stone.
Yeah, no shit. Repeatedly. And I drew it.
Repeat it.
That's when you can see a young Liam Neeson. You watch Excalibur, a young Patrick Stewart, a young Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
And a young Helen Mirren. All in the same movie. You can even, I'm forgetting the name of that actor, the guy who's playing King Arthur in that shit. If you've watched a Foundation show, he is Brother Dusk. That's who he is. That actor was King Arthur in Excalibur. I'm forgetting his name at the time right now, but that's who he was. That's why you get to love when you watch British television. Like this goes back to talking about Doctor Who, right? My first British television shows that I was watching was it Are You Being Served? I think it was, and then Doctor Who.
Oh, that's my show.
Back in the day, right? This is where you start seeing, and then Excalibur. This is where you start seeing all these British actors and understanding what a British actor is, how they're trained, what they're able to do, what kind of resonance they bring to roles, and what kind of presence they bring to roles. Ian McKellen's and all that shit. You start watching older movies like that. That's when you start seeing these fucking people. So it makes it. Oh,
You Being Served is my show.
Yeah. Shit, I always like Benny Hill too. So that was that humor, that British humor, was funny as shit. That was funny as shit, too, dude. Benny Hill, a little tongue-in-cheek, sexy. I remember him on Moonlight. That's how I got on to Bruce Willis, Moonlighting, because I watched that Sybil Shepherd ass.
As time goes by, with Dame Judi Dench, what's another one?
Judi Dench is another one.
Waiting for God is another one. Waiting for God, I really like too.
Willem Dafoe, Charles S. Dutton, Micah Howard, Edward James Olmos, Tim Roth. Check their bodies of work. Yeah, even any one of those people, any one of those actors. I think Rutger Hauer has passed already. If any one of those actors, if you pull up their IMDb and just start going through that, this is just me saying this to other YouTubers, I guess, because I want some other content to watch other than some bullshit geek shit. Especially since 6 of y'all all repeating the same one person or two people. That's fucking boring as shit to me. You got to have an original take on something, man. Got to. It's easy to ride that wave because you're floating in their algorithm. But understand there's two things that trail behind fish in the sea. Lampreys that feed off of them and shit coming out their ass because fish don't wipe. It just keeps trailing out the buoy. Okay? Figure out which one you are. Are you the fast moving fish or are you the sucker fish, nigga? Pick your role. Do something different. Get out the slipstream. But if you won't, pick any one of these actors. Any one of these actors, they have a body of work that has been awesome. And you can review any one of those movies. Any one of them. Before Double Toasted started doing their retro reviews, I was doing Sunday binges. And my Sunday binges was just old movies. That's all it was for. It was just old movies. And it's just older movies in the sense of your generation. The shit you guys might not have grown up on and seen a bunch of times. And that's all it was. Me putting it in front of you and talk and letting you see what it was and giving you the seed to maybe or spark your interest a little bit to go back and watch it. To add that to your movie lexicon or your movie knowledge to where when somebody makes a reference about something like, oh no, they just stole this from this, you have it too. You see it just like I do now. You're just seeing it a lot sooner than I did. That's how knowledge works. Learn from the people older than you. You can get up to speed on a lot of stuff a lot quicker. You don't have to start from zero all over again. Malika's in here. Malika, when you went to film school, did they just watch contemporary movies? Or did they make you go back and watch some of that old shit that has been classics forever? Watch some Charlie Chaplin, some Buster Keaton shit. So you understand how this genre has come up and how people steal from that stuff all the time to this day. Because they can't write well at all. They're not doing any original ideas. They just remaking something that worked in enough alteration to say to poke their chest out.
I would even argue that it also, when it comes to the artists, because like one of the things I used to talk to like the kids that was at the facility about that wanted to rap, and I would have to like break down like what an artist is. I said an artist draws inspiration from many areas of life. And so when you are writing your rap, I said, do you want to, I said, now that sounds great. You talk all that drink drag all you want. But I said, do you want to last for a high second, or you want a career with some longevity? Do you want do you want to be like a J. Cole or a Kendrick or any of those guys who've been around for a minute? I said, do you have to actually expand your musical palette? Like one kid that I would talk to who I could have these conversations. He wasn't but 14, and he'd say, talk about, some Gladys Knight. I was like, nigga, what you know about some damn Gladys Knight? That was before me. Yeah, that was before me. And he was it, man. I my auntie, all them and my uncles and stuff, they made me listen to that music. And so when a lot of the kids throughout the different facilities that was unfortunately locked up, they knew who he was, so they knew he would rap. And I said, now I know why they say you one of the best rappers, because you a reader. And you listen, your music, and you don't limit yourself to just hip hop. You listen to all kinds of music. And I said, and that's the way you can make yourself pop and last longer, by being an artist. And I said, and so when we look at a lot of these people that write this new stuff, they don't have any inspiration outside of what they know. They don't want to listen to the older stuff, and they don't want to, and more specifically, they haven't lived experience. They haven't lived outside of their communities or their cities or any of that stuff. So
This is the thing, Beasley. How do you get lived experiences if it's not just from living through it? You got to talk to people who've actually been through it.
Yep.
I'm not old enough to have ever been in World War II, but I can learn from someone's lived experience by talking to a veteran from World War II. It might not cost me anything but time and a little bit of understanding and appreciation for what they actually went through in their life. But I can learn a lot from them from having that. The other thing is, we're still talking about music. In my day, that was the difference between being a rapper and a hip hop artist. A hip hop artist was invested in the culture, understood the culture, could track his roots back, all that shit, understood the different styles in it, all of that. The rapper was the motherfucker who just did it for money. What you would call like a studio plant now, right? That didn't have any real artistry. It was no different than being a singer that just stood up there and sung these lyrics that somebody else wrote, that they bought from somebody else or stole from some other under artist, put it in front of your fucking face and wheeled you out there on cue in front of the lights and stuff to act like this is my new song. There was a difference. There used to be a huge difference between what was a rapper and what was a hip hop artist. The artistry part was the main thing. You had to be creative. You had to write your own words, think your own thoughts. Excuse me, back that up. You had to think your own thoughts, write your own words, and deliver your own way. It wasn't all the same. Everybody was different. And that's why those rappers stand out. Today, you can't tell, you can listen to the radio for 1 hour. It would probably all sound like the same motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
It all sound like the same dude. Same cadence, same delivery, same beat, same, like, goddamn. Where's the difference?
I remember when I found out Travis Scott was from Houston. And I found that out because Bun B said it. I said, he's from Houston. I said, that's not how.
Who the hell is Travis? Which song does he sing?
I was like, wait a minute, what? He don't sound like no Houston rapper. Because I remember listening to the Welcome to Atlanta by Jermaine Dupri and Ludacris. And my cousin is like, 14. He like, wait a minute, do we have a song like? I said, bro, do we? I said, every region in hip hop just 10, 15 years ago had their own unique sound, style, and pump up their city or region of the country anthem. I said, the problem is you grew up in an era where everybody sounded like. So listening to, I had to play, being from Texas, I had to play the Bun B song, Draked Up and Dripped Out. I said, look, here you go right here, Draked Up and Dripped Out. Here you go, here's the remix. You see, because y'all don't do remixes. Remix where you got everybody from Houston rapping on the song. And so
Millionaire, all them boys on it.
Yeah, you come up in the era where everybody sounded like.
Look, even you can make it really small. Even in my area, which is the Bay Area, there's a lot of rappers that come out the Bay Area. All of them don't sound alike. Even in this little 3-city area, San Francisco, Oakland, and Vallejo, they don't all sound alike. That's why 40 sound different than Too Short, and they ain't but 15 minutes apart. A rapper from your neighborhood might not sound just like you. Your delivery is not just the same as them. So that's why for me, coming from that generation, I don't get this everybody sound alike bullshit because everybody is not supposed to. It's like Malika saying, it's not copy and paste entertainment over here.
It's the industry. You were talking about industry standards though. Having done a little bit of work in kind of music, they have it's like we're looking for a X sound. We're looking for the Too Short sound. We're looking for somebody who gives us, this kind of thing because they're on some other label. This label wants, Warner Brothers wants what Sony has. So Warner Brothers is going to look for a guy who sounds like XYZ. But then everybody starts doing that, and then there you get the homogeneity coming in there. You don't get that kind of, you don't get that difference. You don't get that. That's the these problem. People do this and that do that. Yeah.
But that's the problem. Rap for a long time didn't operate like that. They didn't operate like the music industry because they were outside of the music industry. We were that fad shit that was gonna go away.
Yeah.
When the music industry started taking it seriously, and it only took them seeing how much money the shit was generating for them to actually take the money part of it seriously. They don't take the craft seriously at all. They don't take the artist seriously at all. That's why you have some really great rappers from the 80s and 90s still ain't made the money some of these trash ass motherfuckers making today.
Yeah.
That'll make tomorrow. Like, nigga, I sold out an arena. For what? To who? Garbage.
And one thing I also reminded I had to take. I was reminded. I said you used to, and I said sounding alike used to be a big no your hip hop. You used to get your ass kicked. You used to get your ass kicked for biting what was called biting somebody's shit or biting their style or biting their rhymes. That's what it was called.
You would get your ass kicked for biting somebody's rhymes. If we knew, having been somebody in the 80s who was in some rap battles, right? If we knew you bit a line from somewhere, your ass was not considered nobody who could spit. You couldn't rap. You couldn't. If we heard that shit on somebody else's album that you took and threw into your little shit that you out here freestyling on the bus with, nigga, we was getting clowned. No, you always had to be original. You always had to be original. That was your main selling point, your originality. You could not use anybody else's shit. That's why it was trash for you to be saying some shit that somebody else wrote. It's not you. If you try to sell you and your words aren't your own, you're not selling you. You're selling somebody else. Or you're trying to get fame off of somebody else for yourself when you're not creative at all. There's nothing to you. You're fake. You're a poser. It's the same thing. I have the same mentality nowadays. If I hear a review and I heard that same review from one person and 5 other people down the line all copied that same review with the same talking points, you are full of shit. That means I don't need to watch y'all all week because I already heard what your mouthpiece said. I don't need to hear the echo boxes. Don't. What's the point?
Mm-hmm.
You have to have your own mind and your own words.
People are cowardly though.
People from California all sound alike to me. Yeah, they don't sound like Baltimoreans.
But I think it's a fear thing. Nobody wants to be the one to have an opinion that people won't like because it's all about accept. But Artisan, like it's all about acceptance now. Everybody wants.
I like how he's like, no, Artisan. Look, hear me out, bro.
Don't kill. Don't take my head off my book.
I'm not taking your head off. I'm just
yeah.
My thing was the other part that I always say was, why did you ever care? Why did you ever care? But then I have to remember, this is the generation behind me.
Mm-hmm.
So the generation behind Gen X, where we understood nobody cared, your generation was that everybody's supposed to care because I have feelings and I'm valued and shit like that. And nobody wants to grow up like a Gen Xer. No, you never were supposed to care, period. The people before me didn't give a fuck either.
This is how you get your participation trophies.
Yeah,
but we are the generation that
everybody cares about your feelings, and everybody's supposed to be doing stuff to make you feel good. Get the fuck out of here.
We're the culmination. We're that 30, 40-year culmination of what a feminized society gets you, though.
Oh yeah,
this is what it gets us.
You definitely are there. We totally agree.
Unfortunately, like. That's what we are. I myself try to fight against it a lot, but I mean, if it's ingrained from you from day one, it's hard to not have it. I grew up in the sticks of nowhere. So because I didn't grow up in the city, I'm a little different. So I don't have all of that. Like if I grew up in the city, I'm sure city people have it a lot worse, or like suburb people have it way worse. But because I grew up like way out, I grew rural in the rural areas. I don't have as much, dogmatic stuff being pumped into my head from a kid. So I don't have a lot of those issues, but I still have some of it just because, society's gonna put it into your brain no matter where you are because hell, you got TV. So
Well, yeah,
it's
the
gonna be
more
there
the
somewhere.
more media you ingest in some senses, the more it gets there. But that's like if you have a strong foundation on who you are and everything like that, certain things won't work with you. You
Put
won't
it to you
be
this way.
you won't be able to be conscripted into a cult because you're too independently thinking to begin with. It will
I'm gonna put
run
it to you like
counter to
this.
how you are. It'll run really counter to how you are. Like,
Yeah.
what? No, doesn't it. But the generation behind Gen X, oh yeah, they were seriously indoctrinated. And cultish behavior is the only thing they understand nowadays. That's why you care about everybody's feelings. But you can get canceled because you didn't agree like the rest of us agreed. Nigga, because y'all wrong. I don't need to agree with you. Who said
I
that?
don't.
Where was that
Yes,
written?
I don't have that as much personally because I didn't get a TV into my house till I was 8. But which is unheard of. I know some people they're like, "What? You didn't have a TV in your house till you was 8?" I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't have a TV." So I grew up reading books and playing outside for the earlier part of my childhood development. I didn't have a television, so I wasn't shaped by a lot of those early TV shows that a lot of people are like, "Oh, this show got me XYZ." I didn't have that.
Them television shows that would
So
have got your ass beat if you start acting it out. You weren't you're
yes,
in that generation, but not subject to that generational flaw, which is thinking everything on TV is real. No, it's
yeah,
not. You don't do none of the shit on TV that you see on TV.
no,
Not the fear factor, not none of that stuff. You don't do any of this shit on TV that you see
nope,
on TV. You don't do it in real life because you'll get fucked up.
yeah.
No. Oh, shit.
But I can't say that for a lot of my peers. You know,
No, you can't.
I say, Charles, look at biting was a heavy offense back in the day. You know how bad biting was? How bad of an idea that was in early rap? You can see whole songs about that shit. You can see whole songs about that shit.
Sugar Hill talked about that, didn't they? In
Run
their
DMC talked about it. Run DMC talked about it. Every rapper up until maybe the mid 90s talked about people biting their rhymes. All of them.
Big Daddy Kane.
All of them.
People don't give him enough credit. People don't talk about Big Daddy Kane enough.
People talk about Big Daddy Kane who know Big Daddy Kane. If you don't know Big Daddy Kane, that's why you ain't talking about him. That's why. But that's growing up in the 80s. Big Daddy Kane and Rakim was both from New York. They didn't sound alike, nigga. And you knew specifically this nigga that ain't dancing, that ain't Big Daddy Kane, okay?
No.
The Prince of Darkness. No.
Now every New York rapper want to sound like Pop Smoke.
Shit, well, the New York started to try to copy the South, and then that's where that sound came from. I was like, where did that shit come from? Because I hated when that started happening because I started recognizing that when they wanted to mimic the South. I was like, whoa. New York had its own style,
And New York had its own style. And we can give New York the credit for being the origin point in some sense for some of the hip hop stuff, but every other area had their own style. And what New York and some of the other places did is start incorporating those styles to make their side pop again. But it's just influence, right? If you're a kid from like Matt was saying, from a rural town, not in the city, once you visit the city, your view changes a little bit, right? Your view is going to change a little bit. And there will come a point where you will input more of what you've learned from the city into your music. So your music will change. Like Kendrick.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick's music sounds one way before he did Black Panther and got to go with Ryan Coogler over to Africa for a while. After he spent some time in Africa, his music changed a lot. Because now his mind works a little bit differently. It's been exposed to more different things and cultures where has to work its way into influence in how he makes his music or makes his music. It has to. But that's why travel is such a good idea when you're young because it opens your mind up more to new ideas. That's why you have to be open to it. If you're really closed-minded and go out there in the world, you'll go through a lot of places and learn not a goddamn thing. It won't shape you and help you grow from where you came from to who you are now. You'll still be in that same little box, fearful of everything, and everything outside of you is weird. You can hear no idea except the ones rattling around in your own fucking head from the little box that you were born into. Your life is supposed to be a series of moving past boundaries and out of boxes. First box is the womb. The next one is your fucking crib. The next one is your house. The next one is your neighborhood. The next one is your high school. The next one is your college. The next one is the world, nigga. You're supposed to progress out there to be more well-rounded, so it seasons who you are as a person. Like you were saying, Beastly, life experience. All your life experience ain't got to be some bullshit that you heard on somebody else's song. I only know about the projects. Nigga, you never born in a project. Shut up. You know anybody in the projects? Visit? No. Then that's just not your life experience. It's okay. It doesn't have to be, because the people that did live in the projects, they don't paint a rosy picture. So count yourself fucking lucky. Count yourself lucky. So your experience is what you have to offer. Like, since we're still talking rap, Eminem's experience ain't from living in the projects, is it? No, but he can tell you about a fucking trailer park, can't he? Have you ever lived in a trailer park, boys and girls? No. But if you lived in a project or some other slum and some other places that we don't call them projects on the West Coast necessarily, because they ain't high rises, they low rise. Living in a broke place is living in a broke place. You understand that part. So that's where they're the same. East Coast, they built them high. Towards the West Coast, they kept them down low. Just differences. We got earthquakes. We don't build shit high like that, especially not for poor people. Don't need everybody to see your ass. We need you low to the earth, so we can look down on you from our high-rise buildings. Someone always talked about somebody biting. He always talked about that shit because that was the time for it. That was the time for it. If plagiarism is a crime, and one of the worst things you can do as a speechwriter or anything else, why would you think that biting wouldn't be a bad thing in rap? It's the same shit. It's plagiarism by another name. It's the same thing with echo boxing on YouTube. It's plagiarism by another name, just like biting.
And that's something we have to thank Drake for and guys of his ilk. Well, more specifically Drake, because for a long time the conversation in rap was like, oh, Drake's not a real rapper because he doesn't write his own raps. Like that was a huge. People have knocked down, dragged arguments about that just because that was, he was just some kind of Canadian dude who wasn't a rapper who popped up all of a sudden and now he's a rapper. I'm like, wait a minute, is he a rapper or is he just an artist?
This is the thing this is why me personally, I don't give white rappers, Asian rappers and shit like that a lot of crap. Because yes, rap may have started with black folks. It has, right? But once it starts getting bigger and more people start hearing it, you don't own the English language. So anybody who understands how to rhyme or do poetry or stuff like that and can present it in some kind of way can learn how to rap just like you did. Okay? You didn't come out the womb knowing how to rap. You had to learn how to do that shit. And you did it by practice. So on a timeline of progression, you will have more people knowing how to rap the further it goes on. It will grow outside of its core group, which was black folks. Just like breakdancing grew out of the core group it started in with blacks and Puerto Ricans in New York City. The Filipinos somewhere talking about, no, well, this is our culture. Like, nigga, what? It's Since when?
Since 97.
I don't think y'all was b-boying in the Philippines, way over in the Pacific Ocean, way back in the 80s, nigga. Stop.
Just because you can master Dance Dance Revolution don't mean it's your
Yeah,
culture.
fucking DDR and America's Best Dance Crew. Now y'all, that was always y'all culture. Nigga, stop it. Stop
It
playing.
started in 2000. It was their culture that in 2003.
Well, I don't mind you
Jabberwocky.
doing it. Just don't be disingenuous about the shit, okay? Just don't be
Look, the
disingenuous.
Jabberwockies were cool, but calm down, man.
Yeah, I like the Jabberwocky too, nigga. I know they didn't make that shit up, okay? I saw them same
Standpoint
moves
theory.
back in fucking 82, okay? The only difference was we was doing it at a fucking talent show. That's the only difference.
Getting paid
It's
nothing.
standpoint theory. That's all it is. It's just standpoint theory. That whole like, well, from our standpoint, this is the truth because what started here for us. It's like just because it started here for you doesn't mean this is where it started.
No,
That's where your beginning of it is.
exactly. That's where you picked it up, nigga. But no, it's not. It didn't start with you. You can forget that shit. Nobody is co-signing that. And yeah, ghostwriting has been around for a long time because ghostwriting is a music industry term. It wasn't a rap term. It was a music industry term.
Oh shit.
Because a lot of singers had ghostwriters. You know, every singer is not a singer-songwriter because there are songwriters. That's been happening in music forever. Right? You could have people who could just sing but couldn't write for shit. Somebody else wrote for them. Probably their backup singer. Right? So that's been in just regular music forever. It wasn't necessarily in rap because rap was always about you and your experiences. Who can write about you and your experiences better than you? That was like a prerequisite to do it. To me, this is just coming out of late 70s, early 80s. That was who you were because it was about you. You had to do it. You could have some people that was hell of a writers, couldn't deliver it. Worth a fuck. You had some people who had to deliver it. Maybe they didn't have the stories. Ice Cube is a hell of a writer, but if you talk to him, you'll find out earlier on he wasn't doing none of that criminal shit. He got a mother and father at home, nigga. So what was he doing? He was telling other people's stories. Being creative. Once upon a time in the projects. Did he ever say he lived in the projects?
No.
No, but he told you a story. That was a whole genre of rap. Just storytelling. Just storytelling. What else you can do with this shit? The thing that became more popular was party music, drugs, and gangster shit. Everything skewed towards gangster. Even the R&B.
Especially now.
Well, because the little white kids gravitated to it, and they were like, "Ooh, we can make money off these little white boys who want to fantasize about being,
yeah, because they gravitated to it for what? Because they didn't live in the fucking projects.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't. That's why it was interesting to them. Nothing that you're used to is interesting to you. When I listen to rap and stuff like that, like it'll surprise some people that I like weed smoking songs. They usually have better beats, more mellow. I don't smoke weed, nigga. I haven't smoked a joint since 97. August of 97. I remember the year and the month for that reason. But I like weed smoking songs. It's cool. The beat's usually better. That's it. It's interesting to me, not because what? Because I don't do it. Not because I smoke weed every day. If I smoke weed every day, why the fuck do I need you to tell me about it? I know what it feels like. Preaching to the choir for. Turn around and talk to the people in the pews. The uninitiated. I'm initiated. You ain't talking to me. So that's what it was for some of the white boys. They was getting to hear about these black folks' lives. And that's why every rapper that you see nowadays look like they copy and pasted, stamped and approved. They bought starter kit, got the tattoos, and now they can get out here and do this shit. Because that's what taught them. That's what it was. And they only want to be the popular thing. So everybody's a gangster and an MMA fighter now.
Yeah, come on, MMA fighter.
Yeah,
right for that.
That'll wake your ass up.
You're not right for
Pretty
that.
much.
I thought that'd wake your ass up.
That's crazy. Damn.
Look, you know, Beastly. MMA fighting made white boys cool to be tough again. You know. Yeah. There was a time the motherfuckers was looked at as weak sauce forever. But as soon as MMA fighting came up, the motherfuckers was all on board of shit. Now everybody got thigh tattoos and everything now.
Come on, bro.
That's why Chuck
You sound like, come on, bro. Don't be mad at me because I'm hitting low.
That's why Chuck Liddell has always and still is the mascot of the UFC. And what does he have? He has a mohawk and some tattoos and all this other shit. And I said, and because you were right, because for a long time martial arts that was largely claimed by the Asians. That's why your biggest fucking martial arts film stars Asian. You couldn't claim boxing. You couldn't claim boxing because that was blacks and Latinos got it. So what else could they have really claimed?
They didn't have shit. They weren't
outside of maybe pro wrestling. That was about it. But
you dominated in nothing. You dominated in nothing but pro wrestling. The poster boys for this shit was not y'all.
But when I see that white boy look in like the late 2010, the late 2000s, when I see that white boy look of the mohawk and shit, boy, it was everywhere. Every kid, every white boy in school wanted to come to school looking like that.
The Chuck Liddell fight, did you see it?
Given a certain age, a fully dressed dude in an MMA gym, I can tell you where he got every one of his tattoos.
Fair enough.
I can tell you. I can tell you what the fucking tattoos might look like. Because given a certain age, right? And you're right, Beastly. They didn't dominate in anything like that until the MMA came along, and now all of them want to be fighters, or they want to look like fighters. Because before that, it was pro wrestling. It wasn't boxing. You can get in boxing if you wanted to, but you get your ass laid out by some black dude. Just like you get on the basketball court and get your ass put on the pavement by some dude dunking on you and putting his nuts in your face.
Teabag.
What? Yeah, you started this shit, but we took it over. You don't know about a crossfade. Like, come on. No. Everybody else was dominating that shit. There is Caucasian male martial arts stars. I just mentioned Richard Norton and Jim Cotta. Who is Richard Norton? He's a martial arts star. As far as I know, he was in Black Belt magazine and some other shit. He got some classic fight scenes with like Sammo Hung and people like that. Know who the fuck he was? Really? You know who Jess Speakman is, but do everybody speak of him?
And then a lot
of white martial artists.
But see, also with them artists, and that was another aim. What they had was American kickboxing, but that went out towards the end of the 80s.
Exactly.
And even still, some of the best kickboxers weren't fighting.
I can tell you, look, I like Thomas Ian Griffith, right? But I can tell you exactly why American kickboxing looks ridiculous. Why they don't get the same shine as everybody else. We recognize them as a martial art, but it's these motherfuckers that took stuff as a sport and not as a way of life. It was not an art. It was based from something that was taken as an art, maybe some karate or something like that.
Karate and boxing
turned it into a sport. You turned it into a sport, which means you kind of franchise that shit like McDonald's, nigga. That's how you look at those people. And I'm just saying that shit for me. I like Thomas Ian Griffith. I like some of these other dudes. But when I hear they're an American kickboxer, I don't hold them in the same esteem as a Muay Thai martial artist, a Kung Fu artist, a Taekwondo artist. No. It just don't hit the same. For some reason, it's something
here's me.
inherently bullshit about it. You seem like. Go
What's
ahead,
up,
Joe.
gentlemen? What's up, gentlemen and Woo?
What's up?
Darkness.
I'm gonna shit on a couple of things that people said. I kind of don't like certain martial arts. I respect American kickboxing over Taekwondo. Matter of fact, one of the best kickboxers ever is Benny the Jet Uruguay's.
Yes.
If you remember his
Yeah.
Paquitas? Yeah.
Paquitas, yeah. If you look at him, trust me, he can hold his own with any Muay Thai fighter to this day.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
He has one of the greatest, if not the greatest, fight scene of all time with him and Jackie Chan.
Yes. Wheels on
And
wheels.
people forget they were actually moving at their right fighting speed, and they were still holding back. Number two, Muay Thai is devastating. It's cool, but there's only two things you got to look out for: is elbows and knees and low kicks. They can't box for shit. Kung Fu is hit and miss, and it's a lot of misses. If you never been in the street, I don't want to hear shit about your art. That's how I take it. People say, "What have you done?" I've done boxing, wrestling, and catch wrestling. How you know it's effective? I've said, how many times have you heard me on the street as a cop get my ass whooped or sending people to the hospital?
But Charles, I do BJJ. I'm a blue belt.
Okay.
Bro,
Well,
don't
okay.
do that. Don't do that, because I love discrediting them, and somebody that practices it, and I love fighting them motherfuckers. Please don't get me started on that.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you the same thing. I'll tell you the same thing. How many times have I submitted, or people I've trained submitted just for catch wrestling, who are BJJ? You're giving a guy who's not. You're giving a guy who's wearing singlets and tights the ability to grab your clothes. I'm gonna just do that much more to you. And then here's another thing with BJJ. I had to go to a class and do a seminar because their throws and takedowns are horrible. If you can't take me down, I'm gonna bludgeon you.
No correction, Charles. They have no throws or takedowns. They go get collegiate wrestlers or judo players to come teach them how to throw a takedown.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you this one. Here's another thing, right? When the early UFCs, because I give them credit, I want you to look at this shit. The reason why Hoist Gracie was so effective is because one, they put the rules in their favor.
Yep.
When Dan Severn fought, do you really think? Because I'll tell people there's difference, and you could go back and look at it because I still got the goddamn VHS. I'm that old. Go look at UFC 4, where he wasn't striking him, and you take the Return of the Beast, which is UFC 5. Do you think he could beat that Dan Severn?
All right. What time are we at? When he started beating. This is when he started beating him up, and that's when it becomes, Jackie Chan's movie. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good now. I'm good, bro. Go ahead and do your thing.
Yep.
So it's 11:43, so I got to start winding this up now because I got to get to the spot so I can start warming up for my match.
Oh, you got a pool game today?
Yes, sir.
All right.
9-ball playoffs.
All right now.
Playing for the Vegas experience.
Ooh, you're gonna be on Cake TV if you win?
No.
ESPN the Ocho?
No. But if we win this match, we'll get the Vegas experience. So in August, I think it's the second week of August, the 12th through the 16th. If you watch an ESPN, I think they'll show it on there, and watch the APA World Tournaments, we'll probably be there. That's where I'll be.
Okay. All right.
I'm going there anyway because I'm taking vacation around that time so I can go to Vegas for that tournament. So apparently, from what I don't understand why they keep getting this shit confused with people, like they misselling it. apparently we don't have enough teams in our division to play, or in our region, we don't have enough teams to get put in the world tournament. But we can do the experience, which means we can play in all the mini tournaments. Which sounds like some bullshit. I could show up there on my own and play in the mini tournament as long as I pay my money. So that seems kind of bullshit to me. So whatever, however the fuck is working out, the people who win this playoffs get paid to go to Vegas and have that experience. So this is Jeanette Lee's federation. So she'll be there. Some of these other people, Venom, Dr. Q, some of those other people would be there doing demos and shit like that, but they're the people who run it. The big names in it. I just want to play in a tournament, man. I just want to play in a fucking tournament. And this has been 2 years of this shit, and every year they got some bullshit about how this Vegas play tournament works, but every year the same people end up in the picture. It's like, well, y'all motherfuckers didn't win shit. The fuck you there for? My cue sticks, usually my early cue sticks all have names. My most expensive stick is called Excalibur, my blue one. The ones I have right now that I use, I start thinking of a name for my one I use for 9-ball because it's not a really expensive cue. I don't think your cue sticks need to be really expensive. They don't. They just need to be straight, right, and have a good tip on it, right? Like dude would tell you he'll pull a limb off a tree and shoot with that. Take the leaves off of it and shoot with that. Yeah, because good shooting is just good shooting. You can shoot good with a house cue. But so I don't believe in usually spending a bunch of money on sticks unless I'm going to buy something specifically for a reason, and I need to be playing professionally to be doing that shit. I'm not blowing a shitload of money on it. So my most expensive stick, which was like $110, $112 when I bought it in Colorado in mid-90s. It's probably worth more now. I don't know. But my stick that I use right now, I'm thinking of calling that one ribbed, just because the bottom of it, it's called an ergonomic, but it looks like a fucking dildo for chicks that's ribbed, but it grips really well. I'm thinking of calling that one ribbed. That's the one I use for 9-ball. The other one is a Mizrac stick, which for me it's poignant because when I really started taking pool serious, it was from the book that I got was from Steve Mizrac. Right. So this is one of his production cues, but it's a cheaper one because it's a wrap, which means it looks like it has detail on it, but it's not really detail in the wood. It is a wrap over the wood, which is kind of bullshit. But I hadn't bought one of those before, and I bought it, and that's what it is, and that's now I know. But it's still a good stick. It's solid. It has a good weight on it. The wrap looks nice. I don't give a shit. I buy all kinds of sticks because I like pool cues. So that one I use for 8-ball, and it is consistent. The other one I have is a gray, what is it? I think it's aluminum. It's a breaking cue. It's a Titan. No, it's supposed to be titanium. It's not titanium. That one doesn't have a name. Some of my older sticks, my secondary stick for 9-ball is my Emperor 2 stick. It's a green stick, which I like. A little shorter in height. It's like 54 inches instead of like 56 or 57. It's like 19 ounces, but it's called Emperor 2 because it replaced another stick that I had that I called the Emperor, and it got broken or warped or something like that. So I stopped using it and bought another one to replace it. My first cue that I bought, my first breakdown cue I called Sting. And the one I have now that's left that has a rubber grip. It's almost like a bicycle grip. It's gray. That's Sting 2. So if you sense the theme, most of my early sticks all had Scorpion inspired names. But it's how the energy on it feels to me. It's like a samurai with his sword. Each sword has
Has its own story.
yeah, each cue has its own vibe to me. And the more you use it, the more you win with it, or just the more you use it, you're imparting more of your energy into it. So it feels like it vibes and it resonates when you pick when you pick it up. That's why those two new cues I have, the white one, which I might call Great White, I'm not sure. The Mizrak and then the Rib. I'm using those two more and I'm winning more games with them now. When I initially got them, it didn't feel right. It did not feel right. It's like wearing a new pair of shoes or something like that. It doesn't feel right. But right now, the motherfuckers feel like this is an extension of my arm and an extension of my will. The chi is about right with that shit. That this is my lightsaber. It will do exactly what I want it to do. And it miscues a lot less times now too. But that's me and my vision and my feeling on that shit. They feel better.
Is that where the term miscue comes from?
Yes.
Is that a pull term? Oh, I was today years old.
Mm-hmm. That's what a miscue is usually when you hit a cue ball, high, low, left, right, center, it has a solid hit, right?
Yeah.
It's solid and you can feel it all the way through the stick, right? When you miscue, you'll hear that beep. It'll have a hollow sound. It is when the tip of the stick hits the curvature of the cue ball and doesn't push the ball, it glances off the ball, right? And so it makes a different sound. And it's a completely different feeling. And basically you just lost control of the cue ball. That is a miscue. That's why you use chalk to get that what is it called? I'm missing a word right now. But to get that contact on the cue ball exactly where you want it, because you're aiming at a round surface anyway, right? A curved surface, trying to hit it at different points on that curved surface without something to make that contact and give you that traction on it, you will miscue every fucking time. You'll never hit it the right way.
I'm saying that's the term, like, because sports use miscue all the time, like, but they didn't. I didn't know that's where it came from. Like,
it's a pool term and it's a music term too. Like you missed your cue in singing. Like if you're singing, you have so many beats, and then on this beat you're supposed to. If you came in a second too late, you missed your cue. Right.
Yeah.
So it can happen. It's English. We use these words all over the place for multiple different meanings. As long as you aren't bleeding your sticks like kyber crystals. No, I bleed my knives. I bleed my knives. I don't bleed my sticks. My sticks just have to be used. They have to be used, and I have to take some wins and some losses with them to impart that. To me, this is just my impression of what it is and how I feel a stick. I have to impart some of my chi into this thing for it to resonate with me. That's why I don't like people touching my shit. It's like grabbing. I always use this analogy in this way. It's like somebody picking up some samurai sword. You're not supposed to be touching this fucking sword.
Oh yeah.
It's attuned to him. You fucking up the chi. So don't touch my stick. It's like caressing my fucking woman, nigga. Get off him.
Yeah. Let me just touch the ass real quick. Let me just.
Oh, can I hold it? No, nigga.
Yeah. Like what the fuck?
No, bitch. No, my brother. You got to buy your own.
Yeah. What? No.
There is a way. Like if you want somebody to hold your stick, there is a way you hand it to them and they hold your stick. One thing is they don't hold it by the grip. You hold it in the center by the joint or something like that, like you testing the weight and shit like that. Put your sweaty ass dick fingers on my shit.
Meat grabbers on my
Oh,
stuff.
you might be all fucked up. Don't be putting that shit on my stick. Then I have to work it off of there. Get your stink off my stick. Nah, nigga. No. Why you want you fucking finger fucking my woman and handing her back to me? Fuck you.
Oh, yeah. She kind of nice. I appreciate that, artist.
She kind of nice, man. I like this one. Yeah, this is kind of moist up in here. Nigga, I got it. That's the way I like it. What you doing? Get a house cue. No. But that's just me, how I rationalize what is happening with the stick and how I know I vibe with the stick. Like my Excalibur stick, I need to pull that out and use it more often because I haven't. When I started playing in this league, I was using it, and I hadn't shot with it in a while, and I was fucking up. I was miscuing and stuff like that, and so I stopped using it because I stopped wanting to bring my expensive stick out to play in these games when I wasn't playing that good. I wasn't playing up to the standard that I think I needed to be using that stick, so I left it. So perfect example would be like Fast Eddie Felson using the Malibushka. He didn't use it. He put it away. But when he started playing again and getting back up to speed, he broke out the Malibushka, and then he started using it again. Getting his wheels spinning again. Then he started using it again before the house cue. You don't deserve that. You work up to that. But if I find a newer cue that I really like, I will drop like $500 on it. I will. To buy a really good cue in the 2000s. Yeah. Probably at a tournament, at a world tournament, because they have some nice cues there. Yeah, I'll be willing to go upwards of $500 on a new cue. But that one,
Artist and MC, legend of Pool Fu.
I am who I am, man.
He's got a 5th degree black belt in pool jitsu.
Jitsu.
It's strong, motherfucker. Ain't no getting jutsu either, boy.
You know, they say the force of pool jitsu is strong in this motherfucker.
The force is strong. That's what I need. I need a cue that looks like a lightsaber.
Ooh,
I need the handle.
Yeah.
I need the cool shit to look like a lightsaber.
Then it actually lights
The
up.
whole rest of the thing can be purple, and I'll call that my Mace Windu, nigga.
and it actually lights up.
If it actually lit up, that'd be cool. If they could do that shit and make the cue decent and have a good tip on it, that'd be cool. I thought about that when I was playing. I was like, that'd be cool. They got LED technology now. They can just put something in the core, right? Like,
I can be a long-term pool player because I'll be insulting. I'll be like, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told you, Gerald. Just a tip. Pop.
just a tip. Look, I was giving my dude on my teammate yesterday. He passed on a shot. I don't like critiquing people while they shooting, right? I don't try to get in their headspace. But the match was over, and then I asked him, I said, "Man, why didn't you shoot that 11? You could have banked that right up under you." He said, "No, I couldn't do it." I was like, "Come on, man, you could do that. I love that shot. That's a bread and butter shot for me. Like undercut, cross side, cross corner." So I was showing him how to hit it, and what I was doing, it was sexual terminology. I said, "You just got to stroke it. Medium speed shot. You got to follow through. You got to stroke it out, nigga. When you fucking your bitch, you don't just short jab it, do you? No, you got to long stroke it. You got to daddy long stroke it. That makes sure it's going where it's supposed to be going." He said, "Oh, I get you now." I said, "Yeah, I know you do. The dude is West Indian, right?" So he laughing.
Oh, he not missing that no more.
No, he ain't gonna miss that shit. Bro. I showed it to him 3 times. I showed him 3 times on that table. It's like, damn, it's long. It's close. You just got to get the angle right. It's gonna go in there. It's gonna be in there. Like, just stroke it out. And then I made another one cross side, showing him the same thing. I said, "What do I do? I just follow through. Stroked it out, follow through. That's it. Make it in there." Like money, nigga. Anyway, 3 hours in. It's 11, so I got to get to the hustle on down. We play at 12, so I need to get out of here. Y'all got some final thoughts for the good people out there? A movie recommendation, something you are not watching, something you recommend not for people not to watch. Like, don't do it to yourself. No? God damn it.
Recommendations? Nah, man, I ain't got anything. I've been watching a bunch of anime recently. I really haven't been watching any regular TV.
That's something. I didn't see Ray Hama in here today, but anime is something.
Shoot. Wait a minute. What? I just finished Akudama Drive, which is a pretty good show. It's on Hulu. I don't know if anybody else has seen it, but I finished that one. It was good. Before that, I was watching.
What up, Chaos? The Falcon sidekick. He said, "Artisan, that is not how you spell my name, homeboy."
Artiesa? Ooh, Artiesa.
So I don't know who that is, but that bitch better be cute.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. I opened up. I re-signed up my.
You better have big titties too.
I re-signed up my Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
I re-signed up my Crunchyroll. And two of my favorite shows in season 2, Fire Force and Windbreakers. If you like Windbreakers, is high school students just throwing hands. They don't need
hands.
Do it.
Yeah.
I have to check. I have to look at
And you watching Fire Force? You watch Fire Force? You saw season 2, or you on season 3 right now?
3.
Oh yeah. No, Fire Force is the shit, bro. Fire Force is what's up. I'm waiting till like it comes out more. How many episodes? I don't know how many episodes.
And plus, their black characters win fights.
Okay.
Oh yeah. He's good. That kid's good.
Fights. So
yes.
You need to be promoting that to black folks. You need to be reviewing that. So black folks, good. You can have some standing in anime too, nigga.
He came out in season 2, and that kid's nice. That kid
even the villain's a black guy. He was whooping ass.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, yeah, he's good.
Aquatech, I'm not gonna put that on autocorrect necessarily because there is no word of artesia, but artisan is an actual word in the English language. He just spelled the shit wrong.
He's an artisan of making
sorry,
sandwiches.
I'm just messing with chaos.
He's an artisan of making big sandwiches.
Yes. Artesia. Is that real? Like, does she make tasty sandwiches? I don't know. I shouldn't have teased him. He might take that shit sensitive. Charles, talk to your boy. Well, no, I'm just.
Don't want to get doxxed in these streets or nothing.
No, I don't give a fuck about that.
No.
Look, I had enough of my personal friends come on here and use my real name to be doxxed. It's not overall a secret. My kid's grown and they know how to shoot.
It's funny. Like, it's funny that you said an artisan when people's like dox and like, yeah, you can dox me. You'll find out a lot more shit about me's true.
Find out the stories. They're not stories.
They're not stories.
They're urban legends, motherfucker.
It's like my godson and my nephew when we were at a cigar lounge, and one of the guys in there who's also a member, he was one of the coaches against one of the guys that faced in the championship round, and he was like, "Dude, you don't even know who you sit next to. This guy's a legend." And he was like, "Was he really that good? That good?" This motherfucker said he had a whole weight class just saying who's going to get second. So he was like, yeah, they stopped other matches just to see their match. They're like, yo, they were good. And he was like,
he set the standard.
They said, he said you wrestled, right? Yeah. He says, when do you see a guy 170 pounds hitting a switch midair? He says, you don't. He does it. We're like, no. It was like, yeah. I was like, go ahead, wrestle him and see. And there's one guy who's at a cigar lounge. He's like, I want to wrestle you. And he told him if he wanted to, you're going to get back in 5 seconds.
That's some shit you're never supposed to say. You an accomplished wrestler, and you're not an accomplished wrestler. I want to wrestle you. That's Look, I don't like using this term, but chicks developed it, so I'll use it because it applies here. That is more not. Let me say it correctly. That's the most assured sign of little dick energy I've ever seen. I'm telling you how insecure I am. I gotta wrestle you, nigga. This is what he does. He has done internationally. The fuck you think you looking for? Easy one. That's like me running up on Mike. Like, I want to box you, Mike. Nigga.
What?
For what?
Your
For
shit
charity?
He does this shit for a living.
Look, man. There's a line I love from a movie. It said, the only problem with kicking your ass is that it'll be too easy. I'm not on Tyson level to be boxing him, nigga. Never. I got too much respect and watched that motherfucker knock out way too many people who was trained for that shit. Way too much respect. I don't give a fuck if he old. And don't think, oh, Logan Paul just did it. I can do it. Nigga, the reason why people moved to MMA because they got tired of boxing being fixed. Okay? Really bruisers don't exist. Mike Tyson is still a real bruiser, nigga. For real. Logan Paul should have had his fucking, or it wasn't even Logan, it was the other Paul brother.
Jake
Paul.
He should have had his head amputated for that shit.
Let me put it to you this way: if you believe that Jake Paul could really, he could really box with Mike Tyson now, and there wasn't a pay fix, you're crazy.
Where is it?
I said that on top of it.
Let them get into a fight like Apollo Creed and Rocky without the audience here. I bet you see that motherfucker getting wheeled out of there in the stretcher. Because he was running from him in that match from the beginning. And then remember, oh, don't fuck up the bag. Let me not hit this motherfucker.
Yeah. I was watching. I said, he pulled punches. I said, I watched at least three punches, and I said, okay, he pulling his punches. They're like, how you know? I said, I'm a fucking trained fighter. How the hell do you think I know when somebody's pulling a punch?
Look, I know from watching Tyson fights, he pulling his goddamn punches. And mind you, I watched this motherfucker in the Olympics fight. He was pulling his goddamn punches. I don't give a fuck how old he is. He didn't want to fuck up the bag. Okay, fine. He did it for the money. It's called prize fighting for a reason, okay?
Yep.
There's no prize for losing. So, fine, whatever. It just was bad to watch. It's like wrestling.
The one thing,
I know it's fake for the most part, but at least make it entertaining. The fight wasn't entertaining.
It's just as stupid when Eddie Guerrero tried to fight Kurt Angle backstage.
Oh,
And JBL asked him, "We tried to do a double leg takedown on an Olympic gold medalist
Olympic gold medalist
in wrestling." And he actually admitted because he said because I'm fucking stupid.
You ain't got since God gave a Billy goat.
You do know how good Kurt Angle is, right? He's won the what we call in wrestling the Grand Slam, the Junior Olympics, or the Junior Worlds, the NCAAs, which he still holds the record for lightest NCAA champion, heavyweight champion of all time, just 200 pounds. His weight class is 275.
You look like
Kurt Angle. Then the Worlds, and then the Olympics.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
It was damn true. And then you do know that he actually wrestled Brock for real and won.
Yeah.
They don't call him Captain America for nothing.
He was fucking Captain America, nigga.
I'm like, do you really want to pull up? Imagine pulling up on him in his prime and saying, "I want to wrestle you." You're getting tossed like a flapjack.
Yeah. You get back quicker than this bitch.
Out the club. You out the club. You're like, yeah, I'm no, sir.
No. The name is Angle. Not Dalton. Angle, nigga. Get thrown out the fucking club. Okay, y'all. Final thoughts. I got a boogie.
Nah, appreciate you for having us on, having me on today. You were real. taking the time out, and also for changing the time. I don't know if everybody give you credit, but the fact that you changed the time for the East Coast boys, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's exactly why I did it. That's exactly why I did it. The only person is fucking on the East Coast right now is Malika, because Malika gets off work late. So it's only fucking Malika right now. So y'all should say thank you because I'm fucking over my homeboy. So y'all East Coast motherfuckers can get something early.
I appreciate that.
I was doing it for him, but then I realized his schedule. Like, this nigga gonna be at work the whole goddamn time. Oh, fuck. So Malika's the one getting fucked. So y'all better be thanking me for his sacrifice. Thank Malika for his sacrifice.
Yeah, Malika, you're a real one.
He volunteered for tribute.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, y'all boys.
You ain't shit, Beasley. Just trying to get me back for the MMA comment. Peace,
everybody be safe. Always a pleasure, Artisan. Jedi Master Pool. And don't forget to smoke weed and drink cognac all day because I'm going to do about a water when I get off at 6.
I'll say whiskey. You can have the cognac. Leave me the whiskey. Whiskey and scotch. Whiskey and scotch.
I got that too.
Whiskey, bourbon, and scotch. There we go. Beasley. We didn't talk about rivals, but I got some new character drops, which that Moon Knight Phoenix is kind of fire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Moon Knight Phoenix is kind of fire. That price though on it, them motherfuckers is really trying to rate.
Oh yeah.
What is this? The summer grape season for rivals? Jesus. I can't go into it right now because I got to get out of here. But I should have brought that up earlier when you jumped your ass up here. Because
I was, and I thought about that too. I thought about bringing that up first and just getting it out the way.
They taking no prisoners. They deep in motherfuckers' pockets.
Because they just dropped the Future Foundation and then they dropped this one. I was like, you motherfuckers, you couldn't wait 5 minutes. And then it's weekly. So they coming out with some more shit possibly soon. Like the bubblegum thing, the bubble with the Venom shit. Yeah.
This is what I wanted to ask you. I talked about this while I was doing my stream on Rivals real quick. Why does one of the most masculine characters on that game got to be looking so Gathoy?
Weak.
And if you don't know what Gathoy means, Gathoy is gay in Thai. So why does Venom, big burly Venom, always got to be popping his ass and got some fruit flavored fucking colors, dude? What the hell?
I have no
orange
idea.
And now bubblegum, which is just pink. Like, what does that got to do with Venom?
I have no idea.
What the fuck does that have to? This is Spider-Man's one of his arch villains. Bigger, stronger, more brutal.
Scary motherfucker.
You got this motherfucker popping his ass and shit. Like, what is that shit? When did Venom become a female?
I have no idea.
Me either. I don't get it. I didn't look. I earned that shit. I didn't use it. Till I used it. No, I wanted that snow costume, and then they took that shit away really quickly. I'm like, oh god.
Oh yeah, the 616 volt. They gave her like a few days.
That's what I wanted. The snow Venom. They took that shit away again. It's like, oh fuck you.
The holiday costume, but I don't know. I was like, come on, I was cool with. I was pissed at the Venom twerk mode. I said, damn, we give him some more suspect ass shit.
That's suspect as fuck. I don't even use that one.
How you think?
Not on my diet.
I was like, how you think Noel's gonna feel? I mean, you got his primary Venom.
Got his son out there looking like a whole. You trying to get chose. Anyway, we'll talk about that some other time. Next time you see me on, I can hear y'all talking. I don't know if the people playing can hear me talking, but I'm talking to y'all. So I don't have to worry about somebody saying some stupid shit other than me on the stream. So y'all can talk in the chat if you see it on the Killing Time with Rivals. You can talk. I can talk back to you. So us is having a conversation. I don't know if they can hear me or not, but I can't hear them, so it don't fucking matter. Like say whatever the hell they want to. I just try not to be talking shit about people I'm playing with at the time. Talk shit after the match. Like, this motherfucker, why are you running from a healer? Makes it hard to heal your ass. You don't protect your healers? Then don't ask for heals. Don't ask for heals. Stop asking for shit you can't provide. Anyway. All right, it's 11:14. I got to get out of here. I got about 10 minutes, 15 minutes to drive.
All right.
All right, Beast. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, y'all. That's going to be the stream for today. I have been Artist and MC. This has been the Hero's Journey. I do this every Sunday, 8 a.m. Pacific time until I feel like stopping. We were talking about goings on and geekdom and movies and whatnot. We did mention a few today. Check them out if you've never watched them. And the one I would recommend the most is The Untouchables. If you've never watched The Untouchables with Kevin Costner, Sean Connery, you need to do yourself a favor and watch that shit today. Watch it today. Spend some time. I gotta go. I got a tournament to play in, or playoffs to play in, I should say. And I don't like letting my teams down. I'm a team player in some aspects. So I respect this team. So I want to show up and play well for them. I've rested, I've eaten, I've actually drank my coffee. I want to whoop somebody's ass. So I need to go out here and try to do that, or at least have a good showing. Because it's a team effort, not just about me. So if you want an Untouchables reference, when a man steps on the table and he's playing an opponent, what is it time for? Individual achievement. But if he wins, he is part of a group. It is a team win. That's how I look at it. I'm there for the team, but individually on that table, I'm there to try to beat myself at my worst and my opponent by extension, to play as perfectly as I can, to play the best game I can, to beat that image of what I did last. Vicariously, that means the other person gets beat. And overall, hopefully my team wins. Because regardless of that, I'm taking vacation in August and I'm going to Vegas for that tournament. So that's just what it's going to be, and I will stream from there. So let me get out of here, jump on this road. Appreciate you guys for coming through. This has been the Hero's Journey. I've been Artist and MC, and I will see you guys next time after tournaments in Pennsylvania. Hopefully victorious. Peace.